What are we talking about anyway?
Oh, I got a few topics. We're now live, so let's just go through the topics, and I doubt it's gonna be that long. Where it's just the two of us shitloading. So let me grab the first one. Is a video from PYT, kind of funny. So let me just pull it up, and God damn it. The stream started, so the audio. So let me.
I just asked Red Ribbon. Red Ribbon if he wants to come on.
Yeah, I have given a link to a few people. So I don't know if they're gonna come on. Anyways, yeah, you're familiar with football, right? AKA soccer for the American illiterates.
They speak a whole different language. Those folks.
Yeah, you're from. Are you a fan of the sport, or are you familiar with it?
So yeah, I know of soccer, yes, but I don't know anything about it other than kickball into the goal. I'm not a sports person.
Well, you don't really need to know the sport to know this. So let me just screen share so you can.
He get locked up. Shit. Oh,
So you can see this, right? Yeah. I have the audio. Just let me know if it's a little bit. All right. So let's start. I'm gonna do the quality. Oh, okay, it's pretty low. So let's go. Just interrupt.
1.5 speed, dude.
What, me? To have 1. Really? No. Normal speed. Okay. Let's just start this. And if you have something to say, just inject yourself.
Players are suing the soccer organization that they are paid by for discrimination. Now, this has to do with the fact that they're
no audio, bruh.
The male.
Huh? What was that?
Okay.
Can you see it? Sorry,
Please, it'd be awesome. Let's hear the bullshit they're gonna spout today.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
players, and for those who might not look so deeply into this issue, you might think, well, yeah, male athletes.
You can hear this, right? Jay, you can hear this, right? The video.
So I'm looking for other people that might want to get in on this. Excuse me.
Okay. Okay. Do you want me to continue playing the video?
Hey.
Because people can join. But you can hear the video playing, right?
So we're still getting set up here apparently.
Oh, you can't hear the video from or the audio from the video. Jay, do you hear the audio from the video? Jay. Okay. Hey Jay, can you hear the audio from the video when I play it? Okay, well, okay, let's just play the thing then, and I'm gonna do this. Huh?
Megon said he'd jump on, but he's on the stream right now, so I'll send him the link if it's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I can't hear shit from your side, dude. You're the one having audio issues this time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ooh. Okay, awesome.
on. Seems to be some technical.
Not at all. Oh.
Okay.
This could be a problem on my end. I don't know if it's on. Let me listen to the stream real quick. See, there we go. Nope, no audio, dude. I ain't getting shit. So,
Really?
I'm getting other people in here. Red Robot said he wanted to get in. So,
Really?
I'm getting other people in here. Red Robot said he wanted to get in.
I can hear myself on the stream.
I had something there for a second. Really? Can fucking wait. Okay, I'll drop it real quick. I'm sorry.
Hey, Red.
I heard that.
Greetings, YouTube, and welcome once. Wait, I'm somebody else's place. Never mind. Welcome to wherever the hell I am. Hi, how you doing?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but Frozen can't hear me.
I
can hear you.
I've been having, I don't know, just a minute ago I had really fucky audio. It might be my end. I apologize. I'm gonna try dropping and coming back in.
Okay. Well, let's try to restart this.
Yeah, please continue. I'll figure out my shit.
Oh God, it's Anna's O face.
Okay, yeah, we're just gonna start the video. I have audio fixed, so you can hear it as well. So let's start it then.
Are suing the soccer organization that they are paid by for discrimination. Now, this has to do with the fact that they are paid significantly less than male players. And for those who might not look so deeply into this issue, you might think, well, yeah, male athletes make more money than female athletes. Therefore, they get paid more. But once you look into the numbers, it turns out that that's not necessarily the case when it comes to soccer. Now, 5 female players from the World Cup winning U.S. national team have filed a complaint against the U.S. Soccer Federation, alleging wage discrimination, insisting they should be paid the same as their male counterparts. The number.
What do you think so far?
Wait. Let me get this straight. They're claiming that female soccer has as big a draw and makes as much money as male soccer. I need to see some numbers because that's some bullshit. I don't even follow soccer, and I know damn well every female sport under the sun except for volleyball draws less than the male version for whatever reason.
I can tell you why volleyball's more successful. It's those sexy
well, yeah,
jumping up and down.
Because it's hot, sweaty girls in the sun. Jesus Christ, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Yes,
so let's continue with this.
Speak for themselves. We are the best in the world, they say. Have 3 World Cup championships, 4 Olympic championships, and the U.S. men's national team get paid more just to show up than we get paid to win major championships. Now,
I would like to clarify this point because what they're saying, basically, men get paid more because more people watch them. I have the links in the video which I commented. If you take a look at FIFA for the men, the final, I'm just looking at the final right now. This is how many watched the final. 3.2 billion viewers, almost half the planet. Okay? This is FIFA official numbers. So, sorry, I have to just.
Top U.S. female soccer players.
Sorry about that. And if you take a look at loading, sorry. And if you took a look at the women, God damn it. Here's the source. They have 750 million, not even a billion. So that's why they earn less. Just right there. It's
the top US
an easy Google search.
what they're gonna do now is they're gonna make fucking viewership of this shit mandatory, because if it's based upon the viewership, clearly got a viewership gap. If they equalize that shit and make the men watch the far less superior sport, they'll somehow work. I can already foresee this shit.
Yeah, and also nobody even watches the women outside of the national teams. So there's a discrepancy right there. So let's continue.
Men's national
Yeah,
team
nobody gives a shit.
show up, and we get paid to win a major championship. Now, their claim is actually right. You look at the numbers and you realize that when it comes to certain competitive games, and when it comes to the bonuses that they get paid, the female players will get a bonus only if they win. But the male players get a bonus if they lose, if they tie, and obviously a bonus if they win. Okay, so let's go into the numbers.
That's pretty un-American, by the way. I mean, putting the male-female thing aside for 1 second, and I have more questions for you in that regard. But no American should get a bonus for losing.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. I mean, I had a talk with Jay Rubin and Francis Maxwell about this, because they're more. I guess they have better expertise when it comes to this topic.
Yeah, so why didn't they join in on this conversation? I'm kind of perplexed of why, for people who have no fucking knowledge about this. I don't even. What do you guys?
This reminds me of the situation. Have you heard about the whole thing with the tennis?
Yeah, they're about to mention it a little bit later.
Yeah. Of course they are.
Because it's like the women's tennis did the same thing, but where they play 3 matches per tier, men play 5. The men are actually putting in more hours of play time.
Yeah. The thing is, you have 3 sets. If they tie 1 each, it goes to a 3rd set. And with the men, they have to win 3 sets. So it could go up to 5.
Yeah, it's
so
play a harder game in both sports. You can see that shit.
And
it's measurable.
Yeah, and you see the Grand Slams, more people watch the men.
Yeah.
Women
so let's go
on that, doing that shit in many of the sports that are not fucking competitive. I mean, sorry, not competitive. Popular. You know, people aren't interested.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's continue.
Okay.
Please do.
Oh, is it just me, or did the audio drop out?
It did drop out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my fault. I fixed soundboard. Sorry.
They're more.
You're good.
I guess they have better expertise when it comes to this topic. And Francis was speculating that maybe this might have something to do with trying to give male players an incentive
to show up.
To show up?
Yeah, no, the hosts she's referring to are the hosts for TYT Sports.
Yes.
There might be some validity to that, because if they're star players, they might be getting paid a lot in the league, and so that's why they might need extra incentive to show up, even if they're good. But I know. That's what I'm with Donald Trump. We're not winning anymore.
Yeah.
With the men's soccer
we never did, really. The men's soccer team has never really been.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the women, they're winning all the time, right? So that they don't really get rewarded for that. So let me give you the more details into the numbers. The top players on the women's team are paid about $72,000 a year by U.S. Soccer, along with bonuses, to play in a minimum of 20 exhibitions per year, a salary far less than the men, the complaint says. And unlike the men, they are awarded bonuses only if they win those matches. Women are paid $30,000 each for the World team, while the men are paid $68,750. Okay, and then when it comes to the issue of revenue, because I'm going to be honest with you guys.
So far, what do you think?
Where the fuck is this money going to come from if they want to equalize the wage? Where the fuck is it? We're supposed to just
Turks
print money just
being-
for this shit?
Well, are generally far left. They don't understand economics. Anytime they get anything involving supply and demand, they have no idea what the fuck is going on. They're only interested in the quality of outcomes, and they don't understand why that doesn't work. And this is what the feminist argument here, or just the women's team's argument here, is that, oh, well, I do the same thing, I should get paid the same. No, you do the same thing, but people want less of it. So I'm sorry, you're probably going to get paid less because there's less demand. That's the way it works. If you want to go play soccer for someone else, go knock yourself out. But nobody gives a shit about soccer in the United States.
Pretty much. So let's continue.
When I first saw this story, the first thing that came to mind was, well, people don't watch women's athletics, so they're not making as much money. I mean, you got to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. But it turns out that in 2016, they're now making more in revenue than male soccer teams. Okay, so let me show you a tweet by Dan Gage. He shows you the exact amount of money and the breakdown that male athletes make in soccer versus female athletes. And he found right off that we do, but do the women make equal money in revenue? Yes, in fiscal year 2017, they're going to pull in $8 million more than the men.
So let me have a couple questions.
Yeah, we're going to pause on that and see if we can get that. That I would like to see, because something about that doesn't smell right.
Yeah.
Because if that's true, I'm just going to be shocked quite to death if the Young Turks are actually right about something. Let's see here. Okay, so
Amen.
I'm you know, and that's just the way. Okay, so budget projected, budget variance. Okay, so where's their actual? These are budgets. Where's their income? Does this tweet?
I don't know.
Because this says, revenue details. Okay, registration, marketing and sponsorship. Okay, so so 2015. Okay. Let's see here. Okay.
Men's World Cup, Women's World Cup. Here,
See, okay, there's the. Okay, something's weird here. International games, Open Cup, women's team events. Whoa. Okay, a sponsorship web store. That just puts it all together. That's something else. Okay, so they're just the only thing where you get a comparison between the women's and the men's is the international games. Where you get them side by side. All the rest of this shit, I have no idea what the hell this is.
Yeah, I'm having difficulty deciding what the fuck they're trying to actually say here.
Let's see here.
is it this one, 42 and 34? But that still doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the columns are years. Because if you look down here where it says NT Games, International Games, you get the men's national team events, Men's World Cup. Those are the numbers here. And then Women's World Cup, which there isn't one, apparently. There isn't anything in this column for it. Women's national team events. So if you're comparing, the only place where I can see a parallel that women's national team events is 3 million something, and then the men's is 34 million something. He's going off of these projected numbers, which is basically, that's like, okay, in the future they're going to make as much or more money, but in the past they have not. So, you know, I don't know what the hell this is supposed to prove, because if this is projected, it doesn't prove shit. This is projected.
Yeah.
Even he says right here, it's in financial year 17, women's will pull out more than men. That's not proof. That's wishful thinking.
Mm-hmm. That's speculation.
Yeah, that's
fucking bank on speculation.
That's pure speculation.
That would also mean on a lot of things, like the US team not qualifying for World Cup or shit like that. So yeah, let's continue.
$8 more than the men.
So let me have a couple quick clarification.
Can you guys hear me?
2016, they already made.
Yes.
They're going to make much more money in
Yeah.
2017.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yep.
It's not projections.
$2 million more than men in 2016.
But this is only in regards to the U.S. soccer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the issue. Because there's a lot of people screaming to their computers and phones right now. Yeah, I get it, dude. Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi make a lot more, but they're not men's soccer players here in the U.S. And this is in regards to the national teams, right? So, yes, overall men's soccer makes $1 billion, literally $1 billion times more, right? Maybe not literally, but almost. But for the U.S. Male and female players in the U.S., especially in regards to the national teams, the women's national team is watched more, they make more.
Yes,
But
exactly.
it's a total outrage. I mean, these are world.
What was that?
Maybe I'm missing something about soccer, but I don't understand the distinction he's trying to make here. Does the U.S. have two teams, a national team and an international team? I don't think it works that way.
No,
Yeah,
not. It doesn't really work like that. Because the club teams where they pay them while they're at the team, and but they don't pay when they're at the national team. So that's why he mentioned earlier when the men have to get incentives just to show up, because it might not even be worth for them to show up if it's a sucky team and the club pays more. Basically, I think that's what he's kind of making the distinction. So, let's continue.
World champions, 3-time world champions. You can't say the same thing when it comes to any other American sport. World Series, that's not the world. NFL, not the world. Like, no. This is Americans winning.
Yeah, I was about to
Because
say
they've
that.
won a bunch of fucking times doesn't mean that they automatically get fucking merit in an entirely different league. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just because you're good at shit. I mean, the Norwegian handball, it's a more European sport. Basically, a handball team, female handball team. The Norwegian one have won like the 4 of the last 6 world championships, but they don't get paid more because of that. So.
Sorry, I had to interrupt there. Continue.
Yeah, but it's just a stupid argument.
It's stupid.
Global, and they get paid half of what male players are being paid. This is ridiculous. And this happens all over, in every country, in Argentina and Brazil, in Europe. But I think AJ Plus did a story on this, like what it takes to play like a girl. And really, it's hard if you're a young female soccer player. You don't have a professional future, or your professional future is very limited.
Of course, yeah.
And many women, around the world, but many women have to take up like multiple jobs in order to be able to supplement like actually doing what they love, which is playing this sport.
Who are these women? Could you name names? Could you name one of them?
No,
I'd
they're
like
just
to know.
women.
I'd like to hear
They're
about it.
Professional soccer women. Like.
Yeah, but can she name one of them? Do they have names?
I don't think so. I know one female football player on the American team, Hope Solo, who basically did domestic abuse to someone. So, but she still is on the national team. So
it does happen.
With like very little penalty, if any. I was also gonna make a point. She said that what was it? She says, because of the difference in teams, whatnot. Why don't the women just go play in the men's league then if it's worth more money? Right?
they would get destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. I know that, but they're not making that argument because they believe that they know that too. They just can't.
Yeah, because I actually I have proof of this, because I was playing on a football team where we were in the 5th division in the Norwegian league system, and we played against the 2nd division female team, and we destroyed them. Like they couldn't get over our half court to even shoot on the goal. We just completely destroyed them. So it just shows that the most shitty male soccer players could destroy the best female soccer players.
Patriarchy.
Yeah, patriarchy.
Yep.
Something I figured while I'm trying to make myself useful while I'm doing this, but I was looking up an article about this, and one of the things that's going to make this, it's probably going to come up because they're going to fuck this up. That's really weird. This potential revenue that they're looking at apparently is based on. They've got a slate for the women's up to 27 matches, and supposedly they're looking to generate 17.6 million in revenue for that. Over the same time period, they expect the men's to bring, which is a weird way to do this. And the other thing in that article they mentioned that the soccer league has invested about $10 million in women's soccer, so they're trying really hard to bring it up. And I have this feeling this projected revenue is the league itself trying to. We don't know if it'll pan out or not. And apparently all this hubbub is part of their collective bargaining agreement. Basically, they're bringing this to media, trying to pressure the league into changing their union agreement or whatever, or something like that. Basically, kind of bring some external pressure to this whole thing. So this may just be basically the Young Turks are getting used, as well as the rest of the media that are bringing essentially being used as a weapon by the women in the U.S. Soccer League.
The comment on that article by John McIntyre or whatever says, the female soccer players should have uniforms like the beach volleyballers or wear little mini skirts to attract more viewers. This will translate into higher revenues, more endorsements. Seems to work for the female beach volleyball players.
Yeah, I think he's right. It sounds stupid, but it would work. If they were wearing sports bras and mini skirts or tiny booty shorts to do this, that would help. It sounds goofy, but I guarantee you there would be more eyeballs on the screen.
Yep.
Because I would watch sweaty women run across the field playing soccer. I hate soccer, but I'll watch women break up a sweat any day.
Well, that's what the president.
Say what you like about that, but I'll watch it.
Well, the president of FIFA actually had said the same thing. He basically had a more harmless way to say it. Have shorter shorts. That's what he said, basically. So yeah, let's continue.
Or the egg thing. Like, a lot of this, when it comes down to revenue, it's always sort of like, it's always sad, but it's true, right? A lot of it has to do with, how many T-shirts are you selling? Are you selling those like Abby Wambach,
yeah. How many tickets are you selling?
How many tickets are you selling? But here's the thing: is that the media has everything to do with this. So we found that 2% of ESPN's coverage during the World Cup year was devoted to women's sports, as a whole. 2% to women's sports. Mm-hmm. So again, with this chicken and the egg, the more you don't cover it.
See, that right there just tells where the money is.
Yeah, it's
that's another thing that they mentioned, right? That the direct revenue for the soccer games on TV can't be separated because the soccer league bundles those together, basically saying, look, you have to buy it all. ESPN would only buy them in soccer if they could. Because a lot of broadcasters do that under the less popular shows or channels with other more popular ones. Look, if you have to buy one, you have to buy them all, and that's it.
Yep, it's what I'm saying. What I was going to make the point was she made the point about ticket sales translating to revenue, which is a valid point. But then she's like, but then they only give it less coverage. I'm like, well, ticket sales don't necessarily compare to sales of views on other media, such as like listening to on the radio or whatever. It's not. It's just basically one. It's one method of delivery that just happens to cost the people going quite a bit of money,
Yeah. Also, the 2% just tells how attractive female sport is right now.
Look at this face she's making, dude. She's like,
you know, and you know, you need to start actually putting women out there. You need to start treating them like male players. Meanwhile, we're inundated. You got Little League on ESPN too. It's like, who cares about Little League? We've got champions, you know.
Those boys or girls?
No, I think a lot of people care about Little League. That's their future. Come on, those are the Those are going to be the major league players in 20 years from now. Why wouldn't you care about Little League?
yeah, I know a guy who's he works for a print magazine, and that's the kind of shit that's saving them on their print media is local news. And they mostly print like local sports stuff for the people who are like hardcore about it.
Well, let's continue.
Yeah, sure.
Hello.
I think you're right about marketing. I think marketing goes a long way, and you know there have been arguments about, like, let's say basketball in the U.S., right? There's a huge audience for professional basketball for men, but not necessarily for women, which is why female basketball players make a lot less. And I don't know if that's a marketing thing, but based on anecdotal evidence, so take it with a grain of salt, I have conversations with guys, and they say, we just like watching the way men play better because it's more aggressive. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if that's representative of everyone.
Sure. No, I've had men just say to me, and it's true, like, where's the female LeBron? Like, is there a woman who can dunk like that? Like,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even know that.
I don't think women enjoy watching women's sport that much either.
Nah.
No.
I mean, every woman I've ever talked to who enjoys watching sports, they're all about the men's sports for either the same competitive reason or, let's face it, the eye candy's better. It could be a mix, anywhere a mix of both, depending on the person. You know.
Evening.
Hey,
Oh God, Cthulhu is here.
Yeah,
I better
We have
get
a
on the
similar
extra.
we have a similar
coding.
issue with sports in the United Kingdom, with women's boxing and football. They have the teams and they're reasonably well known, but no one gives a fuck about them unless they're Olympic related.
Yeah.
More foxy boxing players.
There was a video, Leanne Kersner, she did a video and she got vilified for it when she was talking about FIFA and Women's World Cup. Because she was trying to say that in the interview. Oh, I got feedback.
It might be me. Sorry, I just have to do the soundboard because we're watching the video.
Okay.
Go ahead, make your point.
One thing you can do, you can on your computer mute the browser that you have the Hangout on, and that'll help. Because the browser itself will bring some of it in. I have to do that for Sunday Funday.
Ah.
Yeah, go ahead, make your point, Omega.
Leanna Kay, she was trying to say that if we invested money into women's sports, that people would want to go and see it. And I disagree. And she got lots of people saying that to her, and then she tried to explain that in the same sense, but fuck it up still.
I actually agree with her, right? In that if we invested more money in skimpy outfits for the women's sports.
Oh, they do for the women's American football. They have a version of that with skimpy outfits, and it's rather nice.
I've seen that. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sexy midriff and shit, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just imagine you doing like fucking Zoidberg, dude.
Yeah, like the Zoidberg flopping tentacles in his face.
Imagine how much. Think about like cards you could sell too. They can make a ton of money. If you did it right.
Oh yeah, you can do player cards for it.
Yeah, but the one woman in the middle who is basically arguing against this is saying that we should advertise the woman like the men, and that doesn't work. Like if
I'll tell you outright, if they did it that way, then people would cry sexism or objectification or whatever crap.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but that wouldn't work because with the Leanna Kay logic, people don't want to watch them. They want something different. If they want to see sports like basketball or football or anything like that. They want to watch the men because it's faster, it's more, they're stronger. Yeah, they're more competitive. It's more fun to watch, basically. So let's continue.
The don't know her name, took off her skid.
Yeah, is that whole?
And then
No,
that's what
I think that was in a
that was in a World Cup.
Okay.
No,
was in a
but
previous
I was
World Cup.
intrigued, but then I was hooked. I became a fan when I saw the Hope Solo nude selfie.
No, that was in 90. We won in 94, right?
Too much, too far. Too much.
We won in 94, and then it was,
That was a big story.
and I can't remember her
No,
name.
wait, all I have to say is this. My answer to you is I can't say anything. If the revenue is there, then that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
I can. I'm going to be a bit of a jerk here.
Uh-oh.
So first off, I don't really. I do care how many world championships you win, but it depends on the sport. Okay. So I think this is really sport by sport. So we discussed this recently about women's and men's tennis. I think those are comparable. You have a real conversation about, hey, maybe they marketed women's tennis more. They might be even more competitive with men's tennis. We're not having that conversation in basketball, okay? Because women's basketball is nowhere near.
Can I get a question real quick? You mentioned basketball. Okay, let's look at this way. How do the men in basketball dress now the women dress? Do they? Because I'm not too big into basketball, but I'm wondering something.
They dress the same. They dressed us just the same.
I've got a few points of interest. They mentioned tennis. Tennis, there is Novak Djokovic, one of the best men's tennis players, mentioned from the men's angle that he said that men actually should be paid more for what they do because they play more, and because of how much people prefer watching them over the massive male Serena Williams. They actually get more attention, more ratings, far more popular to watch. And for women's sports, he as that fat fuck on the screen there, what's his name? Cenk? Yeah?
Yeah, Cenk.
Mentioned individuals carrying sports. And that's right. People like Ronda Rousey, they are only one. There aren't many other people anyone else can think of within like MMA, other than Cyborg possibly. But then you've got other sports, and the only reason you know them, like in England, when we had the Olympics here, the only people we knew that were female were like Jessica Ennis, because she was female. Most of the guys didn't have a clue. Because they were promoted.
And I was thinking, you know, we've also got the reverse situation again with with volleyball, but also something completely divorced from the uniforms. Maybe might be ballet. As far as I know, anybody here can correct me if I'm wrong, but no one gives a fuck about all-male ballet. I don't even know if there is any, but if you want to get an all-female ballet troupe, that shit will happen. Nobody gives a shit about a bunch of dudes.
No one wants to see a bunch of sweaty men and fucking their batches all sticking out.
Unitards, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's someone who's interested in seeing that, but they're
that makes me moist.
Gay. They're extremely gay.
Well, no, the men when they do that they don't dress the same. There's like I forget what it is. I think I forget whether it was on TV or at some school when I was really little. I think there was a kid who was part of I'd have to look it up though, I guess.
Tennis is a poor example for them to bring up because they're paid actually equally anyway.
What about figure skating?
Does porn count as a sport?
Oh my god!
Think about it. It's a performance art of a sort.
You
pay more there.
There should be competitive.
I mean, I couldn't name more than maybe two or three male porn stars, but I can name you 50 female ones.
I bet you could name more than 3.
And that's without checking my hard drive.
See, I'm the same way, except replace female with she-male, and I'm good to go.
Well, yeah,
I also do some of them.
Right.
But that's actually a very good point, because that could be used for this situation. Also with Ronda Rousey, she was the highest paid athlete in the UFC last year, I believe. and there was a reason for it because people wanted to see her. People paid the pay-per-views where she was on more than any other, so that's why she got that much money. It's that simple.
She UFC are quite renowned for paying all competitors quite well and for giving good chances. But can anyone name, other than Holly Holm, the person that kicked her out, any other opponent she faced last year? And most will say no because honestly, no one gives a fuck about anyone but Rousey. She's a flag bearer for that sport, but no one knows anyone else.
Yeah, basically.
Well, I don't know any of the male players either, so I can't comment.
Yeah, most in mixed martial arts are only interested in seeing Rousey fight someone called Chris Cyborg, but she's a weight class above and a known roid user. So we know after her getting kicked out by a boxer, which is hilarious, that she won't fight someone who's a bit heavier. There are quite a few good men.
Training because she's a man. So.
Well, to be fair, there's some validity in that one.
Hey, just saying.
Let's face it, you know.
She did also say that she'd fight any man except the man who's now a woman. So.
She also said that she wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather, and then said she wouldn't fight a man. because Floyd Mayweather is a domestic abuser, and yet she herself is dating someone who has been charged repeatedly with domestic violence.
It brings it too close to home during the thing. She gets triggered. Yeah.
Last thing you want us doing in a boxing match is start jazz handing it. Before she gets kicked.
Well, let's continue the video then.
Okay. So if the LA Sparks won 18 Milky Way Galaxy championships, they still shouldn't get paid as much because they're not as good. Okay, and by that I mean not as many people watch, hence they don't have the revenue to pay the players, right? Now, in this case, well, it seems like an open and shut case. What are you talking about? They're better than the men, both in terms of their performance, but also in terms of revenue. But it's not as open and shut as it looks because of what we mentioned earlier. If those men are getting paid millions of dollars playing for European leagues, and then you're asking them to show up for a qualifying match with Costa Rica, they might go, I mean, maybe yes, but maybe no. I got $1 million contract there, or maybe a $7 million contract. And I don't want to fly all the way to Costa Rica for your qualifying match.
If it's the Messi's, you're saying, if it's the James Rodriguez's, yeah.
So there's more demand for them and more competition.
The global,
so
yes.
we pay them more?
Those guys are bigger than any star in America.
Right.
Yeah. Now this is about the U.S. team, right? So they're not as big as the Messis and the Ronaldos of the world, right? Mm-hmm. So those guys are in a whole different stratosphere. And yes, there's some patriotism here. If you're on the U.S. team, show up for the goddamn games, right?
Right.
So I hear all that, but I'm just saying that there is an element of that, even for the U.S. soccer players. Some of them get paid a ton of money in other leagues, so you've got to provide an incentive for them to come, and that's part of it. Now, having said all that, don't get me wrong. The women's team has proven itself to be such a draw that they have to adjust.
Absolutely.
If earlier they were not making as much revenue, now they're making more revenue, well, then you can't pay them a quarter of what you pay the men when they bring in more revenue in this country, right? For this particular league.
I mean, I think we can't overlook.
Was there something?
Yeah, they're mentioning players who play in Europe and then go back to play for the national team in the States. The problem is the Americans don't play at the same time as the Europeans. European seasons and American seasons do not coincide at all. So if anyone has to be sent to play for the international team, there has to be. The chances are they'll be tied to their contract in Europe to prevent them from having to leave. They have the similar problem with Africa as well. If anyone has to go for the African Nations Cup, anyone who plays for any of those teams go in early January when the American season starts, I think. So there's massive conflict between continents. What they're talking about is a load of bollocks.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
This is far more complicated than I thought it was.
Yeah, me too. I actually don't know much about soccer.
I grew up on this trash, so I know enough. Unfortunately, I'm supposed to apologize as well. I was raised a Tottenham fan. I'm very sorry for anyone who's offended.
Oh, you're my arch enemy.
Oh, you're also scumbag.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're a spud.
It's yes.
I'm just kidding. So let's continue.
The sexism involved here in sports and in everything. I think you just have to accept it. Sports are sexist. People think that men do better than women, and even when women are.
It's not. No one gave a fuck around the world.
It's not. Sports is not sexist. I mean, well, it's a meritocracy for the most part. And as I understand it, like, I'm taught not to bridge sports again, but have we ever had a match where the dudes played against the ladies in a team match? I'd want to see
We've done that in a lot of sports. If you want to look, there's a tennis version as well with
Don't you know?
with Andy Murray and Serena Williams, and Andy Murray just demolished her. And he's not that good a tennis player.
Red, don't you know? Meritocracies are sexist and racist.
Patriarchy.
Good.
They are.
Yeah, that's why the football teams are segregated by race.
Well, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, with the way things are going now.
It did take 10 minutes before she used the sexism part.
We have noted that in European football, the African players are the best divers, and they get paid really well to dive like they're about to receive an Oscar. They take a football, they're hitting the kneecap, and they'll immediately assume it hit them in the face, and they will pirouette in through the sky, flying like a plane, and slam on that ground like power slammed.
I want to make note that her nose was what the fuck is deal with that shit. Someone punch her in the face.
Those who wonder what diving is, it's basically flopping in the American term.
Okay.
It's massive cheating.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
Because so basically they're taking a dive, as we would say.
Yeah, if someone goes to take the ball from you with their foot, and they miss the ball, but they don't, and they like clip your leg, you'll fall over. But some will be a bit more theatrical, and they'll make that fall over look like they've been stricken down with a snapped spine.
I love when they do it, and it's they're nowhere near fucking.
Okay. The only time I've seen a legitimate dive, right? It was the funniest shit ever. There's this guy called John Terry. He's a very well-known British footballer. He jumped in the air to header the ball out. Someone basically Chuck Norris roundhouse kicked him. His dive, he was unconscious before he hit the ground. It was beautiful. Okay, it was so fucking. Okay, he woke up about an hour later. It was very funny. He missed the entire cup final.
Jesus.
He was the captain. He didn't get to lift the trophy.
And it's because the women's soccer team, the U.S. women's soccer team, is this like this like flies in the face because they're global champions and they're women. If this was a men's team, if this is the U.S. men's team, are you kidding me? We'd be going nuts. Look, we've got our own Messi. Look, we've got our own Ronaldo. If Messi or Ronaldo were American, we'd be
soccer.
Those are huge
If
players.
they were the men's team, no one was cheering still because it's soccer.
They wouldn't win.
I would like to point
Football
out,
teams suck.
yeah, I'd like to say, if Messi or Ronaldo played for the U.S. and they were given less money than the women, they would not even turn up for the qualifiers or exhibition matches. I can verify you that.
Ronaldo and Messi are amazing players. The problem is the rest of their team is not. Portugal do not have a good international side, so Ronaldo carries it, and Messi, Suarez, Aguero maybe, but that's it. They have no other good player. Maybe Mascherano. No, they don't have a solid team. USA didn't either, and that's why they suck. The only reason they're talking about it is because it's an American team. We didn't give a fuck about it over here. And we've got a massive audience. The franchise of soccer is huge in the United Kingdom and Europe, and we didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys take some, American football seriously.
I love American football.
When I went to Vegas, they had the FA Cup finals in my hotel room. I got told by the fucking the hotel staff to keep it down because the people were complaining about how much swearing was going on. Who
was it?
I can't even fucking remember. I just remember drinking cups of tea or not even drinking it.
You are so English, you Ipshitian.
Yeah, yep, it happens.
Well, it wasn't Ipshit in the final.
Yep. It was not all.
The silly thing here, even if England women team, soccer team won, I promise you, they'd all still go back to their day jobs and nobody would give a fuck. They might be given MPs, but that's about it. Nobody really gets behind it. And it's not, It is sad, really, because it is a sport and they should be given a certain level of respect, but no one cares. Sorry, ladies.
Yeah. Well, let's continue. Finish this.
How come not everyone knows all the women's soccer team, all the women players' names?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like Americans in general just don't care about soccer, right?
I think but if the men's team won, they would.
I just got on the bandwagon like 2 World Cups.
Because we're not winners, but we are in women's teams.
And the female tennis, I watched that even more than this. I love it.
Well, a lot of people
There's some
do
female
that,
sports I absolutely. I mean, there's some amazing. But yeah,
He likes Azarenka going, "Whoo!"
He just basically he just full on admitted that he is watching female tennis to put things in the spank bank. It's the
I
that's
bet
what
he's
doing.
a female gymnastics expert as well.
Mhm.
There's a running joke that everyone's a pro after 3 rounds. Watching it, judging it. Oh yeah.
Maybe you should get a shave.
women's sports, definitely.
And there's two other things I want to
Francesco,
notice.
but it's not just sexism, because the female soccer players are not as good as the male soccer players.
But let's not say
You see what I'm saying?
It's not about good. It's about revenue.
No. Like that makes a difference. Here's what I mean by that. So yes, in their competition, they're the champions of the World Cup and in the Olympics, etc. Right? But when people are watching, like if you're setting up a league outside of the national teams, right? Less people watch women's soccer because the women's soccer players are not as good as the men's soccer players. Like if the men's league team played the women's team, they'd win, 18-0.
I mean, and women and American soccer players, female soccer players, do play elsewhere because they're getting paid better in Europe or even South America. Like they don't just stay in the U.S. as well. So it's. But again, with the chicken or the egg, like we need to cover women's sports more if we expect it to eventually gain revenue. I mean, I think the vice president of FIFA at some point said, like, this is before the scandal, but like that the future of soccer is female, right? Because why? Well, because it isn't so revenue driven. Well, because it is more, it's not as corrupt, and it is more about like the love of the game. Because the amount.
I would like to just interject here for those who are. For those who don't know, it has nothing to do whether or not the female or male are corrupt. It's the entire FIFA that is corrupt. So she's talking out of her fucking ass. She doesn't know shit when it comes to the corruption.
Here's what I have to ask, though. I mean, we all know that these guys are idiots. You know, these guys basically are mongoloids in, somewhat presentable form, but they have, I like how they quickly mention the scandal, but don't actually explain the depth at which that scandal is. You're talking about, it was, what was it, the top 18 individuals.
Yeah.
That would literally,
I can explain it.
I
can explain it real quick, because the vice president she was talking about also got arrested and banned from FIFA. So she's again talking out of her fucking ass.
There's something else about this FIFA thing. The women's team is so great, so amazing. They did such a great job burying the domestic violence charge on Hope Solo, didn't they? And she was an American player, wasn't she?
Well, they do that with all sports people. Here's the thing. The realistic truth of any of these situations is that once these sports and stuff become more popular, they will be covering for their players. Because their players are their money, So, they do it for the guys, they do it for the girls. Hey, guess what, guys? That's capitalism and equality and all that shit. They cover up just as many fucking terrible things for one group of people as the other group of people. That's just what you're going to have to get used to. But, stay ever vigilant, call all the BS out, right? But the level of corruption is so deep that it wasn't just the vice president. It wasn't just the president. It stemmed down to Treasury. It stemmed down to anybody who was financing. It stemmed down to, and it is so, on such a large scale, that we have countries involved.
Yeah.
Who are spending
I would like to just
millions.
Yeah, because Qatar, which is hosting for 2020, was found out they actually paid a lot of money to people to vote for them, and it's actually in the works that they might cancel the World Cup there.
I can see that ending very badly for a lot of teams anyway because of the time of year. It needs to be moved to the winter
Exactly.
because it's going to be too hot for anyone to play.
Oh.
Whose bright idea was it to go, oh, hey, let's go into the fucking desert that's 120 fucking degrees and go play some, well, as you call it across the pond, football.
We can call it soccer, it's fine. It's fine.
It's just
What
are you guys doing?
Just have
it's
them,
gonna be, you can
just have them
boil
do it.
in the sand. What is going
Well,
on?
they've got more money than God. They could build an air conditioning, a couple of dozen air conditioned soccer stadiums.
I'd really like them to get
that'd
some
be
of
fantastic.
There's a Saudi prince with 20 trillion in an investment fund. I'd like him to invest it in turning Qatar into a massive air conditioning unit.
Yes, let's make
The
a
entire
giant hole in the fucking ozone layer right above where Qatar is. Just in case anybody cares, the sun will just do our work for us.
Just a massive marquee. Just big
We're just gonna
sunshade.
have all the radiation just in that one spot. That's all right.
Oh, Wayne Rooney looks like Shrek enough.
Conspiracy against all of the European teams because they're gonna faint in the heat, and all the African teams will do just fine.
We have.
No. That's the thing, though. It is so hot over there during this season when the games are going to be playing that this would kill. I mean, there's nobody who's going to be able to really. I mean, you're going to have even at the best player who can withstand the heat and stuff. They're going to have to be hydrated. You're going to have to be regulating. I mean, also players like to go and fuck around. You don't think that these Saudi princes and shit are going to want to hang out with these players and fucking maybe get them drinks and shit? They can't do any of that.
I think
they're going to have
the
their body
first season Iran will win the World Cup.
Yeah, because they don't do anything. Because Iran doesn't. That's the thing. Iran doesn't drink. They don't. Nope. Their religion and shit holds them back from that. And
Also,
all the people are pre-approved. So you're going to have people who are in their peak physical form by religious choice versus everybody else who's probably going to go drink and shit. It blows my mind.
See, someone in the chat mentions that it's hot as fuck and you're not allowed to be drunk outside, but that will take care of the English soccer hooligans. They
call them English soccer hooligans. You should have seen the ones from the Netherlands when it was held in Germany. Dear God.
When I was in England, every fucking.
I went to a Millwall game.
I thought the joke was Irish soccer hooligans.
No, that's just church crap. No, it's English. We have a couple of teams in the United Kingdom that personify hooligans. One is Millwall,
and West Ham.
And any rivalry between major London teams like Tottenham and Arsenal, or even up north with Liverpool, Everton, the sort of rivalry brings out the worst in these twats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, even
what about Manchester United? They don't have.
Well,
the Norwegians.
I know a guy who used to be a soccer hooligan who got banned from Manchester United.
Was it you?
No, it wasn't me.
I know a guy who's.
I still like the fact that the orcs from Warhammer Fantasy and 40K were based on soccer hooligans.
I have a load of those right next to me. I might put some in football shop. Actually, they have an American football version of that of Warhammer called Blood Bowl. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, because it mixes all of the laws that they had at the time. So it's fantasy versus the future shit. It's cool.
It's a video game.
Well, let's listen to the rest of the video. Let's try now.
Oh yeah, let's hear these shitlords do their thing.
I can't hear it.
That's okay.
What
We know
happened to the audio
coming out of her mouth.
Yeah, it's moving, so we know
the video.
She's used to things going into her mouth.
It is definitely a better video because I don't like it when Cenk plays devil's advocate because he sounds reasonable when he's a gigantic cunt.
Yeah, just shut up and let her make this point because it's kind of important.
All right, fine.
I still can't hear her though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all choppy and shit.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, that's my fault. Sorry. Let's try again.
Not as corrupt, and it is more about like the love of the game, the amount of the little that they are paid, right? But and then you have Sepp Blatter, who once said that, if women want to get more attention when it comes to soccer, they should just wear tighter shorts. I mean,
He's not wrong.
the attitude, what are you fighting against? Women in the Women's World Cup had to play on artificial turf, which
Yes, that's another huge issue. I'm glad you brought that up.
It ruins the whole. It tears you up when you actually fall on it, and the ball bounces completely differently.
Yeah, that actually.
Player, I still used to play.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't play at all.
Really?
I was a drama kid.
No, of course not. Yeah. Girls can't play with me, right?
Yeah, I'm such a little girl. Guys, I'm so fragile.
Wait, by the way, you're leaving out women's softball. Every April, that's covered huge by ESPN, and it's very good.
Okay,
it is.
My last 2 points are
it's one sport.
Their artificial turf argument is the best argument. Having played on natural grass and artificial turf, I don't know why anybody plays on artificial turf. It rips you off.
Yep.
It's crazy that they make the best players in the world play on artificial turf. So that's unacceptable, if you ask me. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to go back to it depends on the sport. I can't tell the difference between men's and tennis or men's and women's golf, right? To me, it looks the same, right? But some of the other sports in soccer and in basketball, you can tell the difference. The guys are quicker, and so that makes a big difference.
But Cenk, it's chicken or the egg. I want you to
but it's not. You can market it all you want.
No, but it's not just that.
I'm not going to watch women's basketball.
But it's also not. It's not just marketing. It's not just media coverage. It's chicken or the egg when it comes to also development, right? I'm not saying that women are ever going to, be able to jump or head the balls as crazy as men will. But if you invest more in women's sports,
women handle balls a lot better, though, guys. Just saying.
If they invest more money in women's sports, they'll lose more money. That's the end of this. It's not a case of it's going to produce a result. You have to get more people interested, and they're not.
Well,
they tried to do it with snooker, a very simple bar game in the UK, but quite popular in this area of the world. They put some females from their female tour onto the men's tour, and on a game that is simply a bit of basic geometry, the women could not compete.
Well, I mean, here's a good analogy. Remember, before baseball in America, right? They kept African Americans from playing baseball, and which is stupid, right? Because we all know that now. Yeah. They just by statistic standards, they are superior athletes than the drunk Irishmans that were playing the game beforehand. So the idea is that sports is a spectacle of ability, right? It's not a spectacle of individuality, in essence, unless that individual is extremely good. Unless that person is fucking Kobe, that you're not going to see a huge shift. You know what I mean? And you're not going to. It's when people were, because let's face it, people were bored of watching white people struggle to hit a ball, so they had all the African Americans come in and make the sport entertaining. Which is a fucked up thing, but it's true as shit. It is just the way it is. People wanted to see better players play the game, and they got it. And it's been that way since. If women did the same, it would have worked out in a sense where, we have all these women players in with the male players. But they just don't have a competing body set. You have bone density, muscle mass. There's a lot of different things. The bone density one is extremely dangerous because you're not going to see a woman football player, American football, right, playing against, we have people called the fridge, in the United States, who is just a mountain of meat and bone and just is that wall, and just will crush people. I mean, you're talking about people who, maybe quarterbacks. That's a way that they could get into sports. Find the niche, right? Maybe a quarterback. Maybe the girl could kick really far. Who knows? Maybe she could lob that ball. But if it's not a particular skill set oriented sort of thing, and if it's just we want them everywhere, you're going to find you're entering into a whole different area of politics when it becomes men versus women in sports, right? You're going to be I could play a center lineman, just as good as the men, if let's just say my scenario happens where they become QBs and then they're I want to be a center lineman. They'll get crushed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or they'll be slow because they don't have the structure to hold that mass. and it'll be. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
This investment argument is old and utterly pointless. It won't change much.
Well, the Fine Young Turks are old and utterly pointless. So I mean,
The only time I ever see their stuff is when Fiffin links it to me and tells me, "Look at this cunt."
right?
I stopped watching them so long ago. The only reason I do it is part of streams like this or watching responses to them.
Oh,
Otherwise, they actively avoid it.
Yeah, they are cancer.
Weapons
Pretty
grade
much, yeah.
autism mixed with cancer,
Yeah.
and then AIDS.
Super
they're the worst.
autism.
By the way, do we have a topic list? I keep asking in chat. Nobody's giving me a fucking topic list. Try and tweet this shit out, motherfuckers.
Allison Rapp is fired for having a second job and blames it on Gamergate. That's
Oh,
You got gerbs.
Do you know that since October she tripled her followers?
donate to our Patreons.
Fifis.
yeah, we can talk about that. I mean, I wrote that huge fucking article, but
Wage discrimination. What a shitty title.
all right. Well, tweets out.
Are they doing shadow puppets right now? Some shit. They're playing charades. Hang on. Dude, he stole the video and he's got his fucking feed on mute.
Hey, Andrew, you're muted.
Yeah, dude.
Noob.
Oh, dear.
Thank you.
I was trying to figure out if I could, like, if they allow you to unmute people.
You
Not
can't.
unless you're the host.
The guys are quicker, and so that makes a big difference.
But Jenk, it's chicken or the egg. I want you to like.
But it's not. You can market it all you want.
No, but it's not just like.
I'm not going to watch
But
women's
it's no, but
basketball.
it's also not. It's not just marketing. It's not just media coverage. It's chicken or the egg when it comes to also development, right? Like, I'm not saying that women are ever going to, be able to like jump or head the balls as crazy as men will. But
Once again,
if
having
you
balls, you guys have no problem at that department.
do some amazing shit, and that's going to happen. If there's the same amount of investment, money-wise, then I guess I'm just saying, like, we're sort of approaching it as if it were totally even, and it's like, well, women just aren't as good. And I think we should interrogate that a little bit more.
Well, okay, look.
I like the term interrogate.
Daughter to play.
Fascist cunt.
One of the guys that works. His daughter plays. He coaches the team. To hear the stories is wonderful, right? But we have to be realistic. Never going to get the same amount of investment because there's billion-dollar soccer clubs in Europe that are based on billions of revenue because it's highly entertaining to watch and more entertaining, not just than women's soccer, but also men's bowling, men's golf, men's almost anything, right? So the market has decided that men's soccer. I know, use that as an extreme example. Yeah. Okay, but the market has decided that men's soccer is the most entertaining sport in the world. We might not necessarily agree, but that's what the market has decided. Yeah. So you're not going to get equal investment. I just think that's not real.
Oh, wow, did the guy say something fucking intelligent? Jesus.
I did.
Oh, and then of course they ended there.
Can you go back to the part where like Shank just started talking when he made that entire point? Don't need the audio. Look at her body language. Just being told that she's incorrect and supporting his thing, she's clearly disturbed by that shit.
The words patriarchy, oppressed, misogyny.
You can see it in her face and the way she's shifting around. She is not happy with that. She after that recording, she's like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, they not have a vagina. You're not allowed to do that."
Yeah, I'm not gonna do the audio. Just look at the body language.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Please do.
Look at that face.
Oh yeah, she is pissed. And she's like puffing up her chest, right?
I am going to put a key in your car.
It's like,
I mean, who is this bitch anyway? Who's that? Dude,
I think her name is Skank A.
Skank A?
I have no idea who she is.
But I mean, it's just like, why is she on their show?
I know Jacqueline Glenn's been on there a few times. Is that what Jacqueline Glenn looks like now? After the plagiarism?
The reason why she's on the show is because if they didn't have at least half the panel women, then people would complain. Just like they do whenever
There is this thing about, like, obviously they're talking about sports that aren't getting promoted enough for women, blah 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 blah. There's a lot of boxing promoters around Europe. They get asked a lot, why don't they promote women's boxing? And the majority of the promoters say it's just not interesting. No one wants to see it. But the people asking don't know can't even name one female boxer, and yet the people they're asking know all of them, and just know they can't sell tickets.
I got an idea.
Fair,
Why don't other people who are... Oh, go on.
I'm sorry, I was just saying, to be fair, I don't remember any of the names of the chicks I watched in the Foxy Boxing League, because
Not Foxy
pretty fucking...
Boxing.
yeah, fucking...
Well, no, but here's the thing.
Awesome,
Look, if you really want to look at how to do like women's fighting, right? Look at how the UFC and the MMA.
Dana White's done a great job, but he had to put it behind one person. With boxing, unfortunately, with so many different promoters, you can't do that.
But realistically, that's called good marketing, because
he's clever
that's
for that.
that's how you actually do all sports.
Yeah. But that's where the
in
problem
basketball,
is.
in basketball, right? Basketball is massive. Okay, in the United States, it cover how big the United States is compared to Europe in a sense, with in population and all of that. That's the only reason why there are multiple, but there are like 10 people. Like Kobe, you have Michael Jordan. Everybody will know my fucking namesake, right? And that's why nobody can search me on fucking Google. You have Michael Jordan. You have Kobe Bryant, right?
Yeah.
And Kobe has a litany of shit against him. But they still push through, right? And it's because people circle around that one person.
But this is where the problem is. With that NBA, it's NBA, right?
Yeah, NBA.
That's one promotion. UFC, one promotion. Boxing, multiple promotions. They can't promote one person because a promoter is not the same thing as those massive franchises. And that's where boxing fails.
But here's how you do it right. You got to get people. You got to get hype men like Don King. Right?
The advisor guys and shit like that.
Well, they're just hype men,
For the US, you've got a guy called Al Heyman. If anyone could sell women's boxing, it would be him. But even he hasn't done that yet.
Well, probably because he doesn't want to, realistically.
I'll be honest, When he's got a dickhead like Adrian Broner, he doesn't need to sell boxing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Is like a lot of these people, they don't understand. I mean, well, free market capitalism and advertising are things that these people fail at. You know what I mean? You got people. I mean, they're like, "Oh, why isn't my Marxism working in media and selling stuff?" Well, Marxism doesn't work when you're trying to.
Well, that's a mystery,
something.
really, isn't it?
It's just like, what? Wait, are you pants on head retarded?
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next topic, which I don't know how many of you have watched Batman versus Superman, but apparently it's sexist.
I've seen tests. I saw the test footage that was talking about some of that. I heard people propping it up, and I've destroyed the argument multiple times. It's just bad writing.
The only thing I remember is the interview where Ben Affleck was told about the reviews and his face dropped and all those memes with the tears and everything. That made me laugh so much.
Well, I don't think there's that. If I remember, there's not a lot of spoilers. Anyways, Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice is a battle cry for not all men. There is spoilers. So
not all men are fucking Batman and Superman. So
yeah, right.
Talk about setting the standards a bit too high. Fuck me.
Do you guys want to continue? Because there are spoilers here. It seems. So I don't know.
I'll get going. I don't
care.
Anyway, so.
It's not a particularly good movie anyway. So what do I get?
I saw the test footage about 2 months before the movie came out on a shitty Blu-ray. And I just was like, this is high-octane garbage. I'm not going to sully my view of Batman and Superman with it.
Yeah, I saw it had Ben Affleck in it. I was like, nah. I was like...
Well, as I understand it from most people, Ben Affleck is actually one of the... as Batman, Bruce Wayne is actually one of the better parts. That's how bad the rest of the movie is.
Yeah,
it was directed by Zack Snyder, though, right?
Anyway, I'll be going. I'll see you guys.
From what the hell else is Zack Snyder known for?
300.
Yeah, 300, Man of Steel, Dawn of the Dead, Sucker Punch.
Such a good film.
Oh.
Man of Steel. They should not have rushed this.
That's why this movie is so stupid. God.
They
Okay.
should
I'm
not.
Actually,
still
my
angry at
brain.
Sucker Punch.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
Sucker Punch is
just
garbage.
continue.
Go ahead.
Spoiler. Please leave if you don't want to be spoiled. So I've given spoiler alerts. So
I don't care. Go on.
like any Snyder movie featuring men with undulating muscles in costumes so tiny and tight that the director's attempted superhero epic Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is full of mixed messages. Lex Luthor compares being psychotic with being too intelligent. Lois Lane talks about being a journalist before being a woman, and perhaps the film's greatest sin is that it never provides a logically sound reason for why two main heroes have so much animosity toward each other.
Okay. They've immediately ignored all source material to make such a shitty statement. Lois Lane was obsessed with that job, and as far as like Lex, I did feel that from what I'd seen that they had sort of nullified Luthor's insanity a bit.
Wait. But here's the thing.
Clever.
But you're also missing the fact that Lex Luthor, the way the media portrayed Lex Luthor, is not the way Lex Luthor was portrayed in the comics. Lex Luthor was always a brilliant scientist who made gadgets and shit like that. That was his shtick, you know?
Yeah, he had a suit of armor like Iron Man.
That was why he fucking had Superman as his arch nemesis in the fucking first place.
They talk about the muscles here, but that Superman's suit hasn't changed, and both those guys were ripped when they before they put the bloody costumes on.
Can I jump in here for a moment? I just want to say one quick thing. According to Deadline.com, audience attendances for Batman v Superman has dropped by 70%, making it's during the second weekend of its showing. It is not going well for Warner Brothers or this time, and they're most likely not going to hit the 1 billion mark as they had previously had hoped. And here's the crazy part. According to financial sources, according to Warner Brothers and several other investors, this movie has to make 1 billion to be profitable.
I heard it had to do at least 800 million to break even. That's what I'd seen written somewhere.
Yeah, and they're not even close to that yet. And they dropped 70% in attendance. I mean, movie theaters like AMC and other big theaters around the world are reporting an incredible drop in attendances, and the movie hasn't done very well in China. I mean, Chinese doesn't seem to give a fuck about superhero movies for some reason. And
Avengers and fucking those movies do pretty okay.
A bit more over there. I would say that nobody really wanted Batman v Superman when it was first announced. They should have done a second Man of Steel film. They shouldn't. I mean, Justice League.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's what this is. This is a rush job shit show. The script is all over the fucking place. There were multiple changes. People were unhappy on the set. I mean, like, I have more, I'm privy to more information than most. But, like, there are so many fucking problems with this. And they're trying to say that they're going to be making 13 fucking movies.
Not happening.
Good luck with that shit. You're not going to even be able to make the sequel.
Michael, can I ask you a question? I just wonder can you confirm that there are reshoots being done of Suicide Squad? I've heard rumors, but I'm not sure if this has been confirmed.
Just because of personal connections, I can't talk about that. Maybe at a later date I'll talk about it. But there are a lot of different things going on publicly. I mean, if you dig, deep enough, I'm sure I don't know most of them, but you should be able to find maybe some inkling ideas. And I'm sure that there's somebody who's less public who's willing to talk about that shit.
I'm looking forward to
That's not really, our site's focus and stuff like that, and it's not really my focus is more on video games and online media culture and stuff. So,
well, let's go through the article. We're not going to talk about Batman v Superman. But amidst Batman v Superman, heap of broken themes and stories, there is one thing that Snyder perhaps unintentionally makes abundantly clear. Batman is the most prominent, not all man supporter on the face of this planet. In more than one
Wonder Woman.
In more than one. In more than one instance, Batman uses a permutation of the not all men rebuttal to correct Wonder Woman's notion about Earth. Never mind that she's a long-time observer of the cyclical nature of man-made worlds. Strives. There's also a grand sacrifice at the center of the film that's much more about saving the world as it is about Batman proving he's a good man. Batman v Superman isn't the only superhero story that explores the idea that our world is full of people who are exceptions, both good and bad, to the norm. These stories offer writers chance to explore complex subjects, authoritarianism, political beliefs, vigilantism, etc., without constraints of reality. But what Batman vs Superman does is peculiar in how much weight it places on Batman's worldview, stressing that his view is the only one that matters and that Batman knows best. Are they trying to explain that this is mansplaining or some shit?
It's Batman's playing.
It's yes.
I don't know what they're getting at. I mean,
be right if there's a woman point of view to compare it to.
So, I want to make a point about them mentioning what Wonder Woman observing, like the cyclic nature of man-made wars. The women have started wars fucking throughout history, so it's not cool. And you know, I'm just saying, the way they probably mean that is to mean man-made as in men start that shit. I'm gonna go give them the benefit of the doubt, but
of course it's Vox Media. I mean,
yeah,
we're debating a Vox Media.
The other thing is that doesn't invalidate fucking Batman's point at all. He's saying not all men are like that because not all men fucking go start wars and shit like that. There are men who do other things.
So let's see. The movie presents him as a wrongly scolded victim, and when you start to crack at his mentality, it helps you understand the film's psyche a bit more. When people use the phrase "not all men," it's a punchline that mocks someone, most likely a man who tries to deflect valid conversation about topics related to diversity and tolerance, sexism in the workplace, racism, homophobia, etc. By exempting themselves of any criticism, my former colleague, now you're gonna geek yourself, okay. My former colleague Kelsey McKinney wrote an entertaining explainer on how the phrase came to be. But the basic traits that characterize not all men supporters are short-sighted, condescending, men who tend to live anonymously on the internet.
Totally not projection there, by the way.
Yeah, right?
Totally not condescending at all.
Well, and that's the thing that really bothers me is this default assumption that if you say, well, not all men do these things, you're talking about yourself, as though if any accusation that all men do these things automatically includes the person, the male recipient of the discussion, because it's not really a discussion, it's almost always a lecture. You know, well, all men do this, and the implicit is that you are part of the problem, where if someone says, well, no, not all men do this, the understanding from the scolder is that, of course, well, you're trying to exempt yourself. Well, what about it's not about me? You know, but no, it has to be about, you know, the person in question.
It is because all their complaints are about them. They automatically assume because it's their shit's about them that any counter argument is about the person making the argument. Either that, they're fucking lazy and they can't
The next point this person is trying to is really facetious. So look at this. The first time the concept of not all men rises in Batman v Superman is about midway through the movie. Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, played by Gal Gadot, steals a hard drive from Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, Ben Affleck, that contains data Bruce hacked from Lex Luthor. Bruce tracks her down at a museum and asks her about the stolen drive. You know it's true what they say about little boy, she tells Bruce, one with no natural inclination to share. I didn't steal it, I borrowed it. Diana can't access Diana can't access what's on the drive. By the way, it's not said in that context alone. She was basically fucking with him. So again, out of context.
That context alone is this immensely condescending, and that's always the part about Wonder Woman-ness is her condescension towards the normal world, and it's best played off when that condescension gets pierced by someone else. Like one of my favorites of the Justice League TV show, the animated one, is where Wonder Woman makes some crack about men, and the hot girl's response in that episode was literally look at her and go, "Don't knock it till you've tried it." And it was both sexual innuendo and also you don't know what they're like because you haven't lived amongst them. Being a distant observer is not the same.
Yeah, but I will also say the quote right there. There's a back and forth between Batman and Wonder Woman right there. So taking this out of context doesn't make the author any favor. So Anna can't access what's on the drive though because Luthor encrypted it. She gives it back to Bruce.
It's because she's a woman and she doesn't work in the STEM fields. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
That's a fucking poignant point.
Yeah, let me just read this.
Don't work in the STEM fields or apply themselves.
Yeah.
That's why she can't actually.
Let me just read this. Who can break the encryption, and when he's done, he sends her some information via email with a subject line in the vein of "Boys share too." Bruce emails someone someone who isn't particularly tech savvy, with weird spacing, sporadic caps, and fragmented sentences. Includes a creepy photo of her and asks her about her possible immortality. And he presumably Googled or hacked Luthor's drive to find her email address, then contacted her through email the way an earnest man believer would.
Batman's a fucking detective.
He is, yeah.
Oh my God!
wait,
Batman
how
doxed me.
I love how they assigned
I can't believe
adjective
Batman
creepy to the
Batman
photo.
dead named me. I can't believe Batman dead named me and then doxed me. Like what?
Misgendered me. Calling me Wonder Man.
Yeah, just
He'd look great with massive tits, wouldn't he?
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting until the new Captain America movie comes out. I'm sure we will have a Vox article dissecting every single thing that Tony Stark says to oh, what the hell's her name?
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Or Black Widow does something that the feminist doesn't like. We're gonna have a huge article about that as well at the end of April, I'm sure.
Here.
His name Iron Man is sexist because it implies phallic ironness.
Yeah, attack Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and see the fan
Mark
base.
Mansplain
I mean, he's
armor.
he's popular amongst everybody.
Just let me read this. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that little boys are born with no natural inclination to share. When Diana suggests to Bruce that it's something people say, it's the first I've ever heard of oh my God! It even goes against real life stuff. Oh my God! This is a fucking movie, you idiot! Like one conducted in 2011 by researchers at the University of Washington that found babies. What the fuck is this?
So wait, are there real Batman then?
They can't say, well, his replies are bad, and not all men style thing. But then accept her starting of it, but then say that what she said wasn't right. So what the fuck? Make up your mind.
This is getting ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. It's completely ridiculous. I mean, I swear to God, if there really was a real life Bruce Wayne who actually dressed up as Batman and fought crime in New York City, this is what the feminists would complain about. Forget about him saving the city. Forget about him saving the city. Him mansplaining, that's some big fucking deal right there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Their objection, their support for the men aren't selfish is that Wonder Woman fucking stole from someone, right? And mocked the person she stole from, tried to fucking act like a badass, didn't know shit, got schooled by the very person that fucking that she stole from, and that somehow makes him selfish.
But here's the thing: how did she steal from Bruce Wayne?
He must have let her.
Yeah, because he could obviously, if you ever see any of the series, all that shit's all connected. I mean, he's almost like Tony Stark with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he basically did it to find out who she was, right?
Well, yeah. He did that in some of the comics. He did that to Superman by chipping his cloak. He wanted to find out.
Yeah, I mean, he's done
just
shit
did
like that before.
Yeah, if Batman was in New York and he saved a fair damsel or wench, whatever you want to call them, would it be basically. Would it be called benevolent sexism?
Well, let's go through this. Even if the interaction between between Bruce and Diana isn't based in any kind of reality. And since Batman v Superman is a fictional story, yeah, no fucking shit. It has no obligation to be. It sets the tone for this world. Men don't share. Men are selfish. Wonder Woman is better because she shares.
She's gonna have a movie soon. They're gonna fuck it, and they're gonna complain all over it. Be like, "Oh, it's not really representing strong women. We're gonna shit on this now that we've got what we wanted."
Yeah, but Batman is the exception, and he isn't afraid to remind her of that.
Well, she reminded him that he's a fucking cunt because he's a man, so it's perfectly legit.
Yeah.
On the official soundtrack of Batman v Superman, there's an icy, heaving instrumental called "Men Are Still Good." The song corresponds to a pivotal moment late in the film when Wonder Woman is ready to return to home on the island of Themyscira. Her work is done, and she seems ready to step back into the hedges and vanish from the public eye for a while. This is in line with Wonder Woman's original comic book mythology. Her origin story has been tweaked multiple times since. She's and other Amazons live in isolation on the islands because they've seen how nasty mankind can be. That's not how. That's not even the origin. The origin is all the females. They were tortured by the gods and basically made an island for themselves because they wanted to get away from Hades and shit like that.
Lesbian island.
Matriarchy.
I gotta say though, you know, it's incredible how many people around, especially in the United States, who want to suck the fun right out of everything. Vox, Jesus. I mean, I gotta say, to have a
But I mean, that's Vox, though. I mean, these are people don't seem to get that these are very much these established, you know, far left, regressive left websites. You know,
which website is
they
this
are
one
they
from?
are doing things that are so damaging that it swings around and it kicks themselves in the ass. But they are so blind to this propaganda machine that they made, or maybe they know and they just can't stop because their livelihood's on the line. I don't know, but
It is comedy value, though. You can't deny it. This article is just comedy gold.
Yeah, it is.
You know, but it upsets me. It like this shit legitimately because I know the media, I know the people who are working in this shit, and they just, you know, it's why I ran away from it in the first place. You know, it's
I guess if you've got a close connection to it, I can understand that.
You know, and nobody's, and everybody, and here's the thing, you talk about the beta-ass fucking males and shit like that, yeah, that shit is fucking prominent in, you know, media.
Beta.
And I use beta not as in, like, you're a cuck sort of thing, but I mean, like, beta as in, like, you know, you're too weak to stand up to other people.
Oh, yeah, not like an
bullying
alpha
you and
male.
shit. I'm actually using the literal term for beta, like, if you were a wolf.
As opposed to the alpha male who would be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even, but here's the thing too: is females too can be an alpha, you know. That there's a shit ton of, you know, in society and in what is it called? And the, you know, Mother Nature was fucking, you know, animal packs and shit, but I don't know.
But there is this spot now.
I want to make one example. I mean, one interesting thing that happened, you know, when you talk about the regressive left and, you know, like the beta male that you talked about, you know, you had a guy who was the editor of my local paper in my hometown, right? He wrote an editorial piece which he called "Nobody is hurt from a little Islam." 2 days later, the Brussels attacks happened.
Yeah,
everybody,
nobody is hurt. Everybody is hurt. You piece of shit.
And I used to work for that guy, and he's the most politically. I mean, I was actually told that when I wrote articles, that I didn't criticize people. I had to use different. The rhetoric that I used was way too wrong, even though I was polite and wrote what actually happened. And I delivered one article that I wrote about something that happened with some refugees we had. And they were violent and they attacked some local girls. And what happened was that he basically edited the article so much that the entire migrant thing basically got lost in translation. So he fucking ruined my article. And I told him, I'm done. I don't want to work anymore.
I would have reported on that to another website.
Yeah, but the problem is the problem about reporting it. It's like what James Gordon says in Batman Begins, right? In a town this bent, who is there to snitch to anyway? And that's the problem with media here in Norway, because everybody follows the regressive left line, and probably would have done the exact same thing. You know, most of our newspapers are far to the left. And
No, so that's when you go international. You make you know, sometimes you have to burn the whole ecosystem down so that it could spring new life. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, let's go through the article because it gets better. In keeping with this, she tells Batman that she's seen the ugliness of Earth wars and that she disappeared a century ago because she was tired of seeing men mock it all up. But he doesn't let her go that easily. He tells her that she needs to find other meta-humans like herself and assemble a team. Oh my god, did this guy even watch the movie? Okay, men are still good, he tells her. Never mind that she's been around for a century, is exponentially stronger than him, and has saved the world before. He clearly doesn't...
Has she saved the world before in the movie?
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen the movie. Okay. Because
Okay,
Batman's
hold on.
it's way
Hold
more
on.
established in the movies, you know.
Hold
so
on,
Superman.
she didn't say that in the movie. Here's the thing: Bruce Wayne wants to find. He's the one in the Batman v Superman movie. He says to Wonder Woman, "I want to find the other meta-humans, but they're very hard to track down." And then Wonder Woman says, "Perhaps because they don't want to be tracked down." That's my impression. She was not going to assemble this team. It was Bruce Wayne in the movie who wanted to assemble this team.
But just the point with, she even says she's killed things from other worlds, so she has saved the world several times. She's 4,000 years old at that point.
I just wanted to be clear on that because
Yeah, I just wanted to explain that. He clearly doesn't care that she's seen a lot more of this world than he has, and how he fits into her observation. He simply tuts her hesitance until she does. That's not how it fucking happened. Again, this guy didn't even watch the movie.
So he has to get Wonder Woman's approval and for everything. Then basically, is this guy's fucking argument.
Yeah, that's what it doesn't even fucking. Of course, since there is a Justice League movie in the works, Batman is totally right. There will still be good men. What the fuck?
That's my... Hold on. Sorry.
Aliens are here!
Manly.
I'll be back.
Such an alpha wing type.
Wonder Woman, we need you to save us.
That sounded like the music from a Close Encounter movie, like that, like the
I said the aliens are here.
Okay, let's continue. There will still be good men who will fight to protect the planet from evil, but he's ignoring Wonder Woman. Jesus Christ! That a man has consistently found a way to disappoint her over the century or so that she's been kicking in on Earth. And perhaps, in Snyder's eyes, Wonder Woman is the real Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, it doesn't.
What the fuck? Hang on. So not only does Batman have to fucking get some kind of approval from Wonder Woman that he never knew about until he basically randomly bumps into her, but then all the fucking men on Earth have to, because of her limited observation powers. Unless she's omnipresent, I don't think she's qualified to fucking make this kind of judgment.
You can assume that if she's with her living for so long and having seen so many wars, okay, she's judged them a little bit, but she has become a bit enamored. Like she's only seeing it one way now, and that. But then using that as an excuse is kind of rubbish, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm getting with this.
There is a silly thing when you mention the assembling a team. That's even on the Wikipedia page that Bruce Wayne was the one that suggested it. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna continue. Despite repeatedly insisting to Wonder Woman that there are still good men out there, he talks about humanity, not just men, you fucking idiot. Including himself, of course. Batman somehow fails to see how Superman can be good. There's no benefit of the doubt to be given. Oh, again, missing the fucking point of the movie. Because Superman fought a battle with General Zod that ended up damaging and affecting the lives of some of Bruce's employees, Batman sees Superman as a threat which must be eliminated. I'm gonna skip next.
It's a semi-invincible alien that can shoot lasers out of his fucking eyeballs, right? He should be considered the potential kind of threat. Like when they handle this in the Avengers, when all the Avengers sort of assemble and they meet fucking. Like Captain America meets Thor and shit. Thor tries to fucking kill everyone. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
I'm skipping the massive spoilers here, so I don't spoil the real thing. It's confusing for Batman v Superman to depict Superman as a villain. He saves plenty of people, and we can probably assume that at some point Batman would ostensibly agree that Superman is doing some kind of net good. However, only Sider knows for sure whether that's true.
Didn't he kill a bunch of people fighting General Zod in the last movie he was in?
Man of Steel.
That was a huge issue, you know. I mean, that was like, you know, he's basically a god. They you know, I mean, that's how they're basically setting this up. Luthor's whole character arc is he hates the idea of you know, and with everything. I mean, this movie touches on so much that could be good. You know what I mean? It kind of makes me sad, but it's just like it's a fighting god. It's basically the you know, the idea that humans control their own destiny versus the shit that's going on.
Well, let's
some god figure that's.
Yeah, let's. I'm not gonna. This is kind of important. In the end, what saves Superman from doom and redeems him in Batman's eyes, and I'm not kidding. This is where everyone gets it fucking wrong, is that Superman's mother and Batman's mother have the same name. There's literally a scene where Batman is ready to murder Superman, and Superman says the word Martha, which cleanses Batman of his blood. That basically just not getting that scene at all, because what happens is basically Batman is becoming the guy who killed his parents, and that's what changes him. Again, fucking idiots. Let's see. By the end, Batman v Superman, Batman is a reformed man because he realizes he was wrong about Superman. But he still hasn't changed it. Huh?
He grows as a fucking character. Good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But he still hasn't changed his not all man stance, and in Snyder's eyes, he doesn't have to. After all, he's convinced Diana that the metahumans are good people and they can protect the world from this evil. Batman.
But nothing's happening. Nothing. Sorry, carry on.
Batman in Snyder's iteration isn't so much fighting to keep good people safe as he is in asserting his worldview. He cares more about punishing Superman than saving. If he did care about people as much as he said he did, then he wouldn't be running his Batmobile all over, destroying buildings, and we'd see some reflection of the liberation of the death he caused. Because oh my god, that's character development 101, you fucking idiot.
They're just jealous they didn't get to drive the Batmobile. I mean, they're just jealous, that's all it is.
I'm just jealous that I can't punish Superman.
Yeah, we know you would.
Instead, he's fighting because he is able to assemble a team of men and one woman who, just like him, are an exception to the rule. People who are good in this sea of bad, and he's looking to change the world that Wonder Woman dislikes, the same one that Superman cherishes as much as he has out to affirm what he believes. Jesus Christ.
So if I'm understanding
the character
the
at all,
thesis of this article correctly, what he's trying to, what the author is trying to say, that a larger view that that Snyder is trying to present is that Wonder Woman thinks the world sucks. Batman and Superman are like not all men suck. Although, and then that in and of itself is somehow incorrect. The presumption then that Snyder's portrayal of Wonder Woman's analysis is in some way correct of the world.
Well,
or
I
am I
think
missing?
it calls
Am I
out how
overreaching? I
fucking
don't know.
stupid that idea of like lumping everybody into one fucking group is.
Pigeonholing you.
Right? I mean, it's not. It's heavy-handed, but that's what it is.
You've also left out part of the story where Jay wants to spank Superman. I think that's a more important angle they didn't explore.
We need like a sub-series of Superman's ass.
Yeah, why didn't they have Bizarro in? How about that one, huh?
Oh my god, that'd have been awesome.
Initially, when I heard that Lex Luthor had tried to create a Superman hybrid thing to fight Superman, I thought that's where they were going, and they went with a different villain entirely, which didn't make any sense.
But they went with a villain that in the comics does kill Superman. That villain.
Well, that's true. Well, see, that's the other thing. They mashed two movies together that didn't belong together. They mashed the death of Superman with The Dark Knight Returns. Those two things should have been separate.
Yeah. That's why there should have been a second Man of Steel. This could have happened down the road somewhere when people will want it.
The whole thing about this article has been fucking. Alright, so the movie is called Batman vs Superman. This dude bitches about Wonder Woman. She's not even fucking on. She's not even in the title. All right, it's not about her.
Okay.
Who fucking cares?
It's about as important as Aquaman and the Flash, and they get mentioned by file name.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cyborg, I think.
Yeah. Well, this whole article is just cancer. So let's move on to the next. Before I really get fucking triggered because this guy just didn't get the movie. Misses essential scene. So next topic is a video. So let me screen share. I'm sure you have seen this. Let me present.
Oh yeah, I was just talking about this.
Yeah. So let's just watch it real quick and comment about it.
You're saying that I can't have a hairstyle because of your culture? Why?
Because it's my culture. You know what boss means.
Do you know it was in Egyptian culture? Are you Egyptian? Nah, bro, you're not. Are you Egyptian?
Are you Egyptian?
No, it doesn't matter.
Wait, where's Egypt? Tell me.
You know what, girl?
Where's Egypt?
Dude, go. You have no right to tell me what I can have. Huh?
Where's Egypt?
Yo, girl, stop touching me right now.
Yo, girl, you're right now. Come back.
Get off of me.
Come back. You put your hands on me, don't care.
Put your hands on me. What the hair I have? That's no reason, yo. I don't need your disrespect. I don't need your disrespect.
Why are you filming this?
Just for everyone's safety.
Why are you filming this? How dare you filming this? How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you film? Yeah, how dare you film?
I thought she was cool.
Oh, go mango for a second.
So, what are your thoughts?
She's being investigated and is going to jail. Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
I really hope.
That's shit cannot. No. You cannot get away with that. You know, trying to restrain them from leaving. It's like you don't get to subject someone to your verbal abuse at will.
Yeah, but this is what the culture we've cultivated.
And
right?
her bro MC Hammer just stands there like a fucking. He doesn't do shit. Just moral support.
And she was totally. She thought she was perfectly fine until she realized she was going to get caught because somebody was filming it.
Mm-hmm. They're always like this shit every fucking time. Ah, unreal.
If I ever go to another political rally, I'm getting a GoPro and I'm tagging it to my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh yeah. I've
been to a couple and they were fine, but these days,
Yep. I've got the two of them. I got the regular size GoPro and I got the smaller one, so it's a little bit less. It's a little bit more flexible on where I can position it. But oh yeah, it's scary shit that happens if you don't record it.
Yeah, I just listen to what she said. Stop touching me or whatever.
She's trying to get him on. She's trying to get him on a rape thing or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I'm just glad they actually filmed that, because they might have actually done something towards him and accused him of shit.
Yeah, this is a common tactic of those fuckers though. They there's that one video that of the chick. She's arguing with some like street preacher or some shit like that, or some kind of proselytizing asshole, and she's like basically intentionally bumps up against him with her chest. She's like, "Stop touching my breast," right? And
Oh
she,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's not clearly not touching her in a way, and she's being very aggressive, and she pushes him, and she's the fucking aggressor in that situation. Same thing here. She's the aggressor, and she's acting like she's the victim, even though she's the one doing the shit.
And that's one of the ways you
that's
know.
the culture of listen and believe.
Mhm.
And all this shit.
Well,
this
it's not
listen
just
and
that,
believe
but that's one of
bullshit.
the reasons. That's one of the ways that you know that women, particularly feminists, know that the patriarchy is fake because they know that outside of clear evidence otherwise, the culture will back the woman. They know this. They're counting. They are liars when they say that there's a patriarchy that looks out for men first. Bull and shit.
It's scary. It's a scary world because our basic principles of democracy just goes into the shitter whenever, you know, it's like, hey, women, I actually want it to be equal for my safety, you know.
Sure.
No kidding.
Like I don't give
And they
a
don't
fuck
want
about
equal.
You know.
And they don't want equal treatment in the legal system because it would
ruin them. They would be in jail for longer.
Well, that was one of the things where I had somebody on Facebook, a fairly close friend, who was like, well, the Equal Rights Amendment never got passed. And I said, yes, consider for a moment why women wouldn't want it. She's like, there's no reason. Oh, yeah? Are you sure you want the law to be where it's required for them to be enforced the same way we are? I didn't hear shit.
Yeah, I mean, you would be going to jail for a lot longer, you know. You'd be getting arrested when normally you know, I mean, women get arrested, they get like warnings, right?
Yep.
Even in violent crimes.
There's some where it's absurd how ridiculous sorry, it's absolutely ridiculous how little punishment some of these violent crimes get. I mean, it's not obviously all of them. There are some women who get very harsh sentences because of the nature of their crime, but it's like few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they
let's
pretty much have to kill a child.
Yeah.
And even then, you'll get out of jail much easier.
Like 7 years, right? They
Yep.
got like fucking 7 years.
Well, moving on to the next topic then is it's the article you wrote, Michael, with Overwatch removing the pose from Overwatch.
That's
jeez. There ain't no ass on that girl.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the whole thing is a clusterfuck. It just speaks of how, I mean, I was talking with another person over the week after I wrote that in the game industry. And
freeze on that right there. Yeah, just go ahead, but I definitely want to talk about this picture that's on the screen. Later.
So I
Go
was
ahead.
talking with somebody who's kind of equal in the game industry, is doing some stuff in the background. Not going to mention them by name, but he brought up the point of, you know, we always have issue with, even if we bring up concerns with something that's in like Diablo 3 that is very, you know, that reviewers or people doing marketing or whatever have a problem with. And Blizzard doesn't listen at all. You know, they've always done what they fucking want to do when it's to dick the consumer over. But this one time, they just bent over fucking backwards immediately. You know? It threw us all for a loop. We couldn't even... it was really hard for us to grasp that this situation took place. You know what I mean? So... I mean, it's just really, we're also in a little bit of bewilderment, the people who actually like have to deal with a lot of this stuff in the background, while the media people seem to fucking eat it up. And we've had friends who are just, you know, they supporting this sort of shit, and we're just backing away from them because we're like, we cannot trust you now with the information we're privy to. You know what I mean? Because you guys are going in this weird ideological bullshit that's fucking scary. You know, and it's damaging to devs. You know, anybody who's an actual dev. I mean, I had the other day. I was looking at an expenditure report, and they actually listed. Sorry, I'm also playing a video game right now while talking about this.
Yeah, I was wondering who the tapping was. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm playing Phantasy Star. I'm trying to get this quest done. Phantasy Star Online 2, which is Japanese only.
I'm just RPing in Champions Online, so.
But one of the expenditures was for social justice as an insurance to basically, just in case something happens that they can't foresee, that they could have money to kind of, you know, prevent a situation. You know what I mean? Like an insurance policy against some inane bullshit that they would never be able to predict otherwise.
A soggy knees fund, if you will.
Yeah, no, like no joke. I mean, that's crazy, dude.
That's fucked up. I mean, I can see where they're coming from with that shit, but it just shows the kind of hostile environment they're in, where they gotta prepare for fucking insane.
With this this pointless story, isn't Blizzard losing money at the moment anyway? Are they just doing this to seem relevant?
We also have a couple of people who are theorizing that it's a fake account and a ploy, so that they could manufacture controversy to sell a mediocre title that they were forced upon themselves to produce by Activision.
Yeah.
So, but that's inside baseball speculation. That's kind of, that's just speculation. I don't know. That I wouldn't. It just seems way too conspiracy for me. But yeah, who knows? That could be totally the reason. I have no idea.
Why don't they give this chick Batman's ass? I mean, then
his cape is like magic.
Well, before we leave it, go back up to that picture real quick, because it's something about that pose. I was talking to somebody else, and this is a good example of it. Check out the pose now. Is anyone here sexually attracted to men?
No.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, so I'm just gonna.
Of course you are.
Well, I'm just gonna have. I'm not particularly. I mean, the aesthetic kind of gets me, but basically nothing happens below the neck. So, but I'm serious. I mean, I do occasionally find men interesting in a way, but basically it never hits below. So nothing. It's a non-event downstairs. But this pose here. If you're looking at this dude. Not exactly. It basically would suddenly be a non-event when the clothes came off, because I don't. It doesn't.
So I'm gonna tell that Schrödinger's faggot, right?
Jay will get you.
I guess I don't know. It doesn't. I don't understand how sexuality works. But here's the thing. Check out this guy's back and shoulder.
Tranny trick.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm getting at here is that I'm giving a grounding for saying that it appears to me, in my limited capacity to understand attraction to men, that pose in a way works for the female gaze, I suppose. Because look at his arm and back and shoulder. That's basically a glorious display of strong arms and things like that, isn't it?
But okay, here's the thing: when people use the phrases "male gaze," they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Male gaze was created by a feminist art critic to explain historically how art, which it has, was focused on male titillation. At different times. But that's basically what that is. So anybody who uses it contrary to artistic pieces from the 18th century or whatever is a fucking idiot. Or feminist, as I like to call them.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're arguing, that basically Tracer's butt, it basically is a long, loving look at her ass, and I'll agree it is, but it's in the same way that previous shot is of that guy's shoulder and arm muscles.
That bitch ain't got no booty.
It's kind of hot. Well, no, she's got one of those nice, tight little butts that you could kind of squeeze and. Am I the only guy that thinks that ass is actually not that bad?
I'm starting to now know why they wanted to change it so quickly after hearing you say that. And I think you're meant to follow up with this, aren't you?
Well, in my case, it's more of a clank, 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 clank.
Right.
It's like a piston going off.
In the entire point of censoring this this pose, even optional pose, is as I said, it's the same as doing the change the cover with an optional cover, and in this instance a pose, and it's getting censored.
What this means to me is that there was some SJW they hired in the fucking office, and they're appeasing them.
I wait for them to bring out a DLC called The Sexy Poses.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of stupid.
The fat pack.
Oh my god, yes. I have one right next to me as well.
You know what Valve ought to do? If Valve was smart, Valve would have parodied that and done sexy pose things of their done the over the shoulder pose and tight pants of all of their guys. That would have tickled me pink. I would have absolutely adored that.
But
that
the
would have
pose
been
is
fantastic.
used by
April.
3 other characters. You know that, right? Like,
yeah,
the pose is not. It's used by 3 other characters. It's just I don't know.
But misogyny.
The reason it stands out is Tracer has extraordinarily tight or neon orange pants.
She's wearing goddamn yoga pants. You know, it's like you know what? It's like it's like a girl walking with her tits out. And you go like, stop looking at my tits. It's like, well, I'm more kind of concerned that you have your tits out than anything. Like,
I had tits and that was it.
Yeah.
I'm getting a weird feedback.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I heard stop looking at my tits, and no, I will not.
Click, tits. Where are they?
Somebody fix their fucking mic. Thank you.
Stop, man. Okay. Cheers. Tits. Anyway, yeah, don't look at them. They're bad.
Yes.
Well, oh my god, I should be able to walk around with my chest exposed and expect the biological nature that has been developed for centuries to just go away.
Nothing wrong with a pair of knockers.
It's just like just pick up a science book, please. Learn how we became human.
Fuck that, I spent 7 years picking up those.
Sticking the pages together.
They cost too much to do that. Oh my god.
That's why you laminate the pages, mate.
One of my books cost like £125. Can you imagine sticking the pages together and giving it to a fresher and telling him to try and selling it to him for like a tenner and say, pry that open. Good luck.
Well, let's move on to the next topic. We gotta get through these. I don't know if you saw this on KIA, but there was a BBC journalist doing an MAA and basically defended the BBC for sloppy reporting on GamerGate. So let's go quickly through this. During South by Southwest, there were two panels hosted in relation to the ongoing scandal known as GamerGate. One panel focused on online harassment against women called the Online Harassment Summit. FYI, there were like 10 people there covering it or watching it.
Actually, it was 6.
Oh, okay. The second... The second panel was called SafePoint. It focused on ethics in journalism. Recently, a tech journalist named Dave Lee, who writes for the British Broadcasting Corporation, headed over to Kotaku in Action on Reddit to partake in an MAA and answer some questions about BBC News and the mainstream media coverage of the GamerGate scandal. Lee prefaces Ask Me Anything by stating he's bound by partially standards by the BBC and can't be baited into answering questions that might jeopardize the integrity of the broadcasting station, nor could he speak on behalf of other journalists at the BBC who wrote or produced content about GamerGate for the Broadcasting Corporation. However, that didn't stop Lee from reiterating talking points that have been leveled at GamerGate for the past year and a half. While conveniently ignoring all of the documented corruption that has been uncovered within that time span as well. Lee decided to partake in the MAA following his attendance at both GamerGate panels at South by Southwest. He mentions in the MAA the preface that he wrote about the online harassment summit, but not the SafePoint panel writing. And the reporter that was both the online harassment and SafePoint at South by Southwest this weekend. I reported on the whatever that is. I didn't file a story on SafePoint, and I'm happy to go into reason why, if that happens to be a question. Lee explains in the MAA thread why he did report on the online harassment summit, but not safe or writing. Reporting on online abuse, as I've done, isn't me taking sides, nor is quoting people that have spoken at an event. I realize reporters can be biased via omission, but sometimes I feel that quoting someone is too often seen as agreeing with them. The reason why Online Harassment Summit was a story was because of the players involved. I'm not talking Brianna, Randy, or whoever. I'm talking Facebook's head of product. I'm talking Google's lead counsel, politicians, and so on. That makes it a story. Any comments so far?
Yeah, basically Brian Wu and Randy on players got it.
Brian.
The thing is, Lee is being biased or omission of facts and pertinent information. If you check through Lee's stories covering GamerGate, you'll note that he hasn't published one single story about any of the conflicts of interest or corruption charges that have surfaced over the past year and a half. In fact, no one at the BBC has written about the corruption or conflicts of interest within the gaming media. If you check GamerGate, search the term on the BBC, the only stories they've written about deal with harassment. Now, unlike the ABC or the American ABC, Lee did not say that he wouldn't cover corruption angles. In fact, Lee states the opposite, noting that corruption is a story-worthy writing in the MAA thread. Corruption is always a story. Proving it is the tricky part. It's one thing to come onto Reddit with something you found out, but risk going to jail, being sued if you get something drastically wrong. That's slightly different. Any comments?
That's not how it fucking works, because Milo would have been sued. I mean, that's the thing, is you have all these other motherfuckers, and Milo uses fucking, arguably shit language, to talk about this stuff, but it's true, he's not getting sued because he's part of a major news outlet, right? Hmm? And he says, he points all the shit out, and why hasn't he been sued, Why hasn't Wu sued him for defamation? Why, it's because they can't, and they know they can't.
Yeah, when I talked to Milo when I was on his show, he made the claim that he ends up eating through their legal budget like really quickly to make sure that the stuff that he says is actually factually true.
He has to. He's more scrutinized than Anita because you have major media people looking at his shit. Mm-hmm. While they say, "Oh, well, the public is scrutinizing Anita," she's not really scrutinized to the extent that she should be. She should be scrutinized by other media, and that's that's what Milo has to deal with, rather than, these fucking piss baby cocksuckers who, can't fucking, it's just like, shut up, you whiny little cunt, you fucking terrible garbage people.
Oh no.
Yeah,
oh,
let's continue. There's nothing drastically wrong with the factually sourced cases of corruption within the media industry that GamerGate have uncovered. In fact, in the very MAA thread, various individuals linked to the Deep Freeze IT, which has chronicled a number of conflicts of interest involving romantic and financial ties between developers and journalists. These claims of corruption aren't just hearsay either. There are images, testimony, quotes, and direct comments from the individuals involved to prove they exist. In fact, the cases like the one involving intimate relations between an Electronic Arts employee and an Oz Gamer editor was admitted by one of the editors. In the case of PC Gamer, the executive editor was involved intimately with a communication specialist from Ubisoft while covering the games. The appearance of a conflict of interest was undeniable and irrefutable. PC Gamer later apologized for the conflict of interest and modified their ethic policy regarding coverage of titles by employees intimately involved with the person they're covering. Those are just a couple of many cases involving conflicts of interest between developers and journalists. There were also more serious charges, such as former IGF foreman Brandon Boyer and the possible profiteering scheme involving the IGF contest, which is illegal in the state of California where it's held. The IGF case was covered extensively by Shortfat Talk on Camera Lady, with multiple videos covering what appeared to be clear and definite conflicts of interest between Boyer and some of the contestants of the IGF. None of the major media outlets picked up on this story, despite Boyer staying silent on the whole time while the allegations were being made public. Any comments?
I'm really glad as a game developer I avoided all that drama bullshit. Like by avoiding all of these shits like the plague. Just saying, it makes me sleep at night so much better.
Alright. In mid-2015, Boyer eventually resigned from his position as chairman of the IGF, but to this day no major outlets will look into the claims of corruption surrounding the IGF. When the KIA members brought up some of these cases of corruption, he opted not to respond to them or address why they've never been covered by the BBC. He also states that it was difficult finding the right people to contact to do a GamerGate story, even though prominent individuals like Christina of Summers, Adam Baldwin, Money Matt, Sargon of Akkad, and Oliver Camber were easily recognizable and equally easy to contact for quotes or interviews, as evidenced by the amount of interviews that each of them have given to various outlets over the past year and a half. He opted to state that it was just easier getting in contact with the anti-GT side. Jesus Christ!
It's not an argument.
Well, that's an outright lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Even if it wasn't an outright, it's still not an argument. That's just like, I'm a lazy fuck, then therefore you're wrong.
No, a biased lying fuck and lazy fuck. When asked how Lee and others make sure that reports on the harassment isn't fabricated or blown out of proportion, Lee respond with the following statement: "That's a good question and relies on a mixture of things such as demonstrable facts, reported judgment, and legality of the claim. I'll give you an example. Zoe Quinn's story was worth being told as it had a clear grounding in fact." What the fuck? A court case, that online dossier or whatever you'd call it, and from my own judgment, the day I met Zoe, I met someone who was clearly shaken how rapidly her life was changing. The Fifi! Oh my god! Oh!
Hey guys, feels are facts now. Yay! You know what? I feel like this guy should lose his job. I feel he's incompetent. I feel that he's lying. I feel he has no journalistic integrity. I feel that these reasons should make sure he never writes again.
Your tears tell more than more than facts ever could.
Jesus Christ. The thing is, Lee's own report on Quinn was not grounded in fact. In his interview with Zoe Quinn that was published on the BBC on October 29th, 2014, Lee stated that Quinn was forced to leave her home after receiving death threats, even though she left her home to take a vacation trip to Europe, as admitted to by Quinn's own tweets. Additionally, wrote Zoe posted an accusation that Miss Quinn had a relationship with journalists at a prominent game site, Kotaku, in an attempt to get a positive review for a game. Oh my god, can't they get one fucking thing right? Nope. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Nope.
The allegation proved untrue, but the debate continued. Now oh my god. And is now approaching its third month. This is, oh my god. It's...
Welcome to the world I live in.
Jesus Christ. There she is, giving the sad face. Oh look, I'm a victim. Donate to my Patreon.
Have you seen her replaced with a mungfish?
Yes.
I have that on
who
my
the
phone.
who the fuck?
I send it every time somebody says anything to me about, oh god, this is a clear form of harassment. I just send them that photo, and they shut up like right quick.
Just who other than the media is basically claiming that it was for positive reviews? Maybe someone in the beginning who jumped the gun. That's basically it. But this has been so many fucking times. It's.
Well, they gotta have that one thing to grab onto, otherwise they have no fucking leg to stand on. I mean,
Yeah, but Zoe has many things that she can grab onto. Long valid thing.
Oh Lord.
I don't know. I hate all these. I hate all these people.
People are still talking about this shit. I mean, come on.
This in itself is also that Lee has never come back for the past year and a half. Nathan Grayson did write positively about Zoe Quinn in several articles and had a financial tie with Quinn, all of which went undisclosed in his news pieces. This isn't mentioned anywhere in Lee's pieces about Gamergate. Interestingly enough, what he wrote about regarding Grayson, Quinn in his article easily contradicts what he states in the MA thread, where he acknowledges that conflicts of interest, like the one Grayson and Quinn were involved in, see the writer recusing themselves from writing about the subject. I had a relationship with a person working in a non-gaming public relations recently, and I just passed on stories involving her client. Also, you'll never see me write about Dyson. My brother works in their marketing department. If the circumstances was a developer paying a journalist for coverage, well, that's obviously unethical, yes. There are sites like Touch Arcade and Pocket Gamer where studios do pay them for coverage. According to Lee's own standards, this kind of thing would be worth covering, but you haven't seen a thing about those issues published by Lee. Instead, you will find plenty of topics surrounding online harassment from the tech writer. He also goes on further to defend why the BBC and other mainstream media won't cover the corruption angle or give any coverage to what's colloquially referred to as pro-Gamergate writing. A quick point on the other side, getting more coverage, like it or not, they are doing tangible things. Talking to the UN, getting around the table with the networks, etc. This is, oh my god. Because you are talking about them, they can go and do that shit, and because you cover them again, they can do more. This is just an evil circle, but this fucking idiot doesn't... My God.
I don't understand how these people get jobs, but they're just peons. They push the greater narrative thing. He's he's a person with no integrity, no intelligence, who could just write kind of well, well enough.
Competently.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can put words into text competently enough, people will think you're intelligent. Well, you know what? That's not always the case. You could be brilliant in math and a fucking, retard. And it's just...
That's the story of my life, man. Trust me.
It's just... these people
and here...
are degenerates.
It's because mentality like this, they get coverage, so you cover them again, and it just goes round and round, instead of actually doing a fucking job. Here, I know you disagree with the platform they have, but these are real events that journalists can report on. If Gigi is keen for more coverage, the best way to do it would be to have a solid action plan that goes beyond calling for advertisers to pull out or backing off sites and might battle with individuals on an errant tweet or... Oh my god. Is he fucking serious?
How about we skin your feet with toenail clippers and then put you in the middle of the desert with a gun to your head? How about that? Fucking piece of shit. I have so much hate now from these. I used to love this industry, and now I do nothing but despise it.
Apparently,
this guy can't be this fucking stupid.
No, he is. It's the way of the world, man. It's what it is.
Lee conveniently ignores the Gamergate-funded SPJ Airplay event that took place in August of 2015. The event was cut short due to bomb threats. Only a few scattered websites reported on the event. but it was inconveniently ignored by mainstream media outlets like BBC, CBC, NBC, and even Kotaku. To their credit, Polygon actually did report on SBJ Airplay shutting down early, much to the dismay and surprise of the gaming audience. SBJ Airplay organizer Michael Koretsky actually dedicated a blog post to the lack of media coverage that Airplay received, despite the bomb threats shutting everything early. Disclosure: I was a member of the committee who helped organize. See, that's how you fucking do it. Jesus Christ.
Realistically, you know what people are doing is they're forcing media validation onto us where we devaluate their media.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that? I mean, that's the whole point of what these guys are doing. They're trying to make it like, oh, well, we are the pinnacle of XYZ. You need to conform. And they're dinosaurs. They're dying out. And let them die out. Let these people who focus on wrongthink and all that other bullshit just die.
We don't need their bullshit. I mean, that's kind of the fucking point of our message to them. It's like, if you're corrupt as fuck, we don't really want anything to do with you.
Yeah. And here's the thing. They backed the wrong camp when it came to this, because as people are becoming more intelligent, more informed, these groups are shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, so they are backpedaling and backpedaling and backpedaling, right? And they don't seem to understand that they've already lost the war. It's just time. Now it's just attrition. And guess what? The people, I hate to say it, but there's a lot more people with Asperger's on the gaming side who know no such thing as attrition. They will be there until the thing is dead, and when the thing is dead, they will continue to beat it into dust. These people simply can't compete with that, and they're going to lose.
We have the Konami code for 30 lives. What the fuck they got? They got shit.
Exactly. Actually, we got Game Genie on our side.
Oh, that's true.
We've already fucked the system, fam. It's done. But they have no comprehension of it.
Hackers on steroids.
Hackers on steroids.
Here, GamerGate has also carried out a number of meetups around the globe, including a meetup that was also disrupted by a bomb threat, which mainstream media also conveniently chose not to report on. There is a detailed recount of the DC bombing threat issued against of the GamerGate meetup by Reason.com.
So I was gonna say that Arthur Chu fucking immediately shut his fucking face about.
Yeah, he did.
Tonight.
So what was Dave Lee covering in the middle of August 2015, where Airplay was taking place? Well, he wrote about clues about an Apple test car on August 15th, 2015. He wrote a roundup of news that took place over the weekend on August 17th, 2015, that did not include any mention of the SBJ or Airplay at all, not even in a roundup of news. On August 18th, 2015, Lee wrote about the modular aerophone being delayed by Google, and on August 24th, he does another roundup that also doesn't bother to mention Airplay at all. So the reality is that even when GamerGate was involved in an actual significant event that was newsworthy, the mainstream media still didn't cover it. And terrorist threats on U.S. soil are usually the sort of thing that garners coverage from most outlets. In fact, the BBC reported on culture critic Anita Sarkeesian receiving a massacre-style threat from an anonymous individual, and how she had to shut down her speech at the Utah University, which we know was bullshit.
Hello.
Hello. We're doing this article. Just jump in if you have something to say. One person in the Reddit thread actually asked Lee if he would have filed a SafePoint article if it was shut down due to a bomb threat, but Lee opted not to answer the question. Someone also asked about...
Piece of shit.
Yeah. Someone also asked about why no one did a follow-up on one of Anita Sarkeesian's harassers being tracked down by GamerGate's harassment patrol, and why none of the media asked her why she didn't press charges against the harasser. He simply responds by saying that he didn't ask her about it. In fact, none of the media have asked her why she hasn't been proactive against her harasser after GamerGate tracked him down and gave her all the necessary info to press charges. Lee also tried to defend why the media has opted not to tell any other side of Gamergate beyond harassment, stating the anti-GG narrative is just less complex story to tell, writing. Any reporter, particularly one working in TV, there is a tendency to look for the simple, straightforward story. It's definitely an issue. This is a problem that reaches well beyond Gamergate, of course. And so I'd wager anti-GG narrative could more accurately be described as an anti-complexity narrative in news, particularly TV. It's an inherent weakness of the format. Please, oh my god.
I would say that just proves his incompetence, because plenty of other people got their shit together in the past.
I mean, but you guys understand my point that this guy is just a peon. Like, they threw him out there because he was just the mouthpiece for directing whatever narrative that they're losing at, and he's not even worth discussing, really. I mean, it's just he's a vapid sack of shit that sucks in the wind around him and regurgitates same shit. That's all he is. You know?
I've noticed that in the Sarkeesian's talks, you aren't allowed to bring a camera in. You aren't allowed to record anything.
Like, I've had you'll hear it here first. We've done some analysis of that shit. I've had people go in for me and take one of the little spy cam things to record the shit.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. I'd be like, fuck you.
You know, because we actually have the what is it called? It's a you know how the FBI has the little tracer thing. We have one of those that we can use. So.
Holy shit! You guys are like high tech, sitting out there in the pizza van, fucking just chilling out.
You don't even have to be in a pizza van, dude. It's actually like a short wave receiver. You could just be sitting at the restaurant next door to said venue, and they'll pick it up. But
like watching porn on your phone, but I can also listen. I love
it. Anyways, according to Lunar Archivist, the CBC has spent an estimated 1 hour and 5 minutes on Gamergate collectively in the coverage without even mentioning the corruption, conflict of interest, ethical violations uncovered. Surprise, surprise. The excuse of complexity and time goes out the window when a topic is covered over the course of a dozen pieces and media programs and cumulatively add up to more than an hour worth of programming, and the outlet continues to omit the facts because CBC directly believes balance does not, for instance, mean that every voice critical of Gamergate must be immediately what the fuck does that even juxtapose with an equally strong voice supporting Gamergate? That's the whole fucking. That's the whole.
Wait, somebody.
job.
Hold on, I'm in the middle of a mission, so I can't describe this properly. My brain's in a million places because I'm fighting a big boss. Can somebody explain that for Dennis?
I was going to explain it in the context of what he means. So basically, there's no reason for them to have an opposing view at all. They don't need.
Yeah, no, I know.
To prove
yeah, no, I got the context. It's just it's it's baffling. And he says, "Oh, we can just cover one side. That means we're balanced." You fucking imbeciles.
That is some literal fucking Bill O'Reilly shit right there. Like,
yeah.
You know what? But Bill O'Reilly is a little bit more fair than the BBC when it comes to this shit. Just saying.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
oh my God.
I never thought I would hear myself say this because I always thought Bill O'Reilly was just like the biggest fucking meathead, and then after I started looking at realistically the nature of media when I started really getting into it, I just start watching him more, and I'm like, this is a guy who just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
I think the BBC are heading in the same direction as the South African Broadcasting Service.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
Horrible news. Scared as fuck.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Zoe Quinn?
Oh, God.
The director isn't even fucking hiding it.
If you want to see who does what in the gaming industry, during E3, there's a particular place to go to. It's the fucking... Well, actually, I don't even know if it's going to be open. I don't know where they're going to go this year, but I really have no desire to go myself. I took Tara, when Tara was working with me doing videos for E3. and it's just the hotel that's right next to it.
Yeah.
And it has a bar, and there's events held all the time there. But it's like where all the high-end people go. You know, IGN, and you know, it's where all of those people go. And if you want to see who's friends with who or whatever, that's what you do. And it's open to the public. If you want to go there and scrutinize, fucking feel free. You know?
Yeah, well, let's continue. That's not to mention that Breitbart had no issues on reporting on the Game Journal Pros, putting together a quick article highlighting the secret group's organization and function. It's the same as The Atlantic or Real Clear Politics, writing about the original journals list and the new journals list. The only reason not to cover it is either because it disrupts the narrative the media organization is trying to push, it exposes colleagues the organizations or journalists are trying to protect, or the journalists are just too lazy and incompetent. Ding, 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 ding!
Well, someone in the chat said, media, we are lazy fucks, get over it.
I was so surprised. You know what? This is what makes me sad. Like, for the Blizzard one or article or the you know, how do you pronounce her name? Rapp.
Rapp.
Yeah, Rapp.
Alison Rapp.
Okay, so Alison Child Rape. If you look at the way people reported on that, it is like, I have my own very, very strong opinions, obviously, but I can shelve my fucking opinions to produce a flat article. You know what I mean? I don't understand why nobody else can do the same. Like, it's not that hard.
There's a difference between facts and opinion, and I think you understand that.
You know, and I don't know. I mean, you know, you just report. That's your job. I mean, that's the whole goal with the new project that we set up with the GamerTix. Just if it's news, it's news. Just post it. Like, this is what happened. Make your own decision. What the fuck is so hard about that? It's infuriating. Ugh, infuriating.
Welcome to New World Order, buddy.
When asked about the lack of coverage of the Game Journal Pros, Lee conveniently ignores the question, doesn't address it. This is despite Lee claiming that GamerGate has over-the-top conspiracies that he conveniently failed to expound upon in the MAA. Correction, some users have stated that Lee clarified this, whatever. Just
you know what? I'm
recently
gonna drop some info on you guys. You know what they mostly talked about in Game Journals Pro?
No.
Wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but wrestling was a fucking thing. It's fucking retarded.
Was it meant to be about journalism?
Like sweaty men, dude.
Yeah, right?
And women.
I thought it was meant to be about journalism. So.
No, Game Journals Pro was like literally like what you saw was like 1% of shit that happened in there. Most of it, like the other 99%, is fucking wrestling talk.
Maybe they accidentally mistyped when they were typing out the title. It was supposed to be gay journal pros, and they're like, oh shit, put two extra words in there. I'm too lazy.
Gay journal pros. Hey, you know what? I don't knock it. If you wanted to have a whole group talking about sweaty men, you know.
Yeah, why was I not invited to this sweaty men group? This is some bullshit. This is so fucking transphobic.
It's a new. Yeah, they're being. They have some form of internal hatred that they're not opening up to the public.
I want to talk about The Rock's sweaty ass. Come on, fuck.
I think we've just uncovered the real news story here. Game industry is in the closet.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue. Just recently, an article was published here on Angry Gamer, more leaked emails from the Game Journal Pro mailing list covering the collusion. Had Lee asked if very well been sent a copy of it still on the table. Yeah, however, has no interest in the secret group, the emails, the corruption, or the collusion documented on sites like deepfreeze.it. It's an easy story to tell just by printing the facts, something even Destructoid managed to do. But even then, when dealing with just the facts, the BBC took facts from female gamers they interviewed and did a spin on the story, omitting many of their statements to paint them as all damsels in distress, while portraying GamerGate as a typical industry boogeyman. When asked about the BBC misconstruing the voices of female gamers to make them victims of harassment, Lee opted not to respond. We actually commented I used an episode of this podcast where we actually talked over that horrendous fucking video. Instead, Lee believes that GamerGate beyond the harassment angle isn't worth covering. When people say mean things to journalists over the internet writing, it's obvious the majority of people here are intelligent, thoughtful, and yet in this thread alone, I've been called a fucking parasite. My inbox is a lot worse. I've got a thick skin, and it's your right to say whatever you like about me. This internet. That's Rob.
Well,
Ask
yeah,
yourself,
I mean, if they're right to say the truth that you are a fucking parasite, you piece of shit.
I mean, thick skin, but he's fucking saying, "Oh, the people are saying the mean things about me." Who knows?
The only thick skin that he has is the shit in his head. It's just
yeah.
He has his thickest. I mean,
This is interesting. This is interesting, though. But ask yourself. If you were me, would you willingly engage with that kind of discussion when there's little in it for you?
I have had to actually go into.
So you're corrupt as fuck as well. Oh, yeah, I see. Thanks for telling everybody. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I see. My job, because I'm a fucking professional, I actually care about my job, right? I've actually had to go in and get my ass reamed for fucking shit up, and there's very little in it for me, like as a pro. But the other thing is, I get to keep my fucking job by taking that because I fucked up.
Well, I mean,
yeah, and here,
like, you know, they don't have any, you know, they have job security as long as they post the narrative. It's how it's always been.
Yeah. You know, do you think this thread encourages other reporters to engage with GG?
Oh. You don't fucking care. What does this guy?
The Guardian. They wrote a article on Pepper the fucking pig. I swear to God, they wrote an article saying that Daddy Pig was mean. He was misogynistic.
Jesus.
And
yeah,
he's the nicest person in the entire show.
These are the 5 last sentences. There are journalists who risk their lives to get interviews with ISIS members, despite the fact that the group has threatened to behead Americans. And according to Newsweek, they recently killed a female journalist. The question is, why are journalists more willing to engage with ISIS, who have actually killed journalists indiscriminately, but not fucking GamerGate?
Because we are ISIS, dude.
Because they won't get promoted.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what it really is? It's because we actually run ISIS, and you know.
No, actually,
GamerGate is actually a company entity, right? You know, and we gotta manage our expenditure reports and such, and one of those expenditure reports is ISIS. So
no, it's just that they won't get as many clicks if they come after, you know, if they, you know, interview us. Whereas if they interview ISIS, they get way more clicks and they can spin more narratives, you know.
It's just, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. It's to basically, it's the narrative. They have people who are willing to die for their narrative. That's called religion, folks.
Yeah, we need more martyrs, motherfuckers.
That's not just religion. It's a fucking cult.
Yeah, despite, you know, depending on how your view of religion is most of the time.
I'm an atheist, so I used to be a Christian.
Yeah. I'm in that same boat too.
Hey, remember that whole thing about God is not contained within 4 walls? Whatever happened to that shit? Huh. Interesting.
Wait, if he's not contained within 4 walls, what's ceiling the floor? You can just climb over or like drop down. What the fuck? Maybe God outsmarted whoever the fuck came up with that analogy. Like, wait, 3D space, shithead.
I'm actually contained within 6 walls.
Yeah, right. You kind of forgot a couple extra, mate.
Well, I mean, back then they didn't have a floor, so to speak. You know.
Let's just
came out of a mud hut, you know.
You can still like climb over it.
Mud hut.
Well, let's move on to the final topic, which has been the big one this week. It's Alison Rapp.
I'm gonna say it so much to people that they're just gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Rapp. I mean rape."
I can still.
I put your article in the description, so if you want to have a neutral or just plain and simple article of what actually happened, which Kotaku didn't even manage to get fucking right. Anyways, Patrick Rapek and Michael, how the fuck you say that, Rogel, whatever, are former members of the Game Journal Pros. Disclosure, I'm also a former member. See, that's how you fucking do it. The list was used by the biggest names in the gaming journalism ring to communicate, organize, get-togethers, review parties, suggest who to hire, who to fire, and who to blacklist. After the list was exposed, Miley Yiannopoulos from Breitbart, the creator of the list, Ars Technica Kyle Orland, shut it down. Many gamers suspected the list that existed, but they had no leak surfaced on Breitbart. Many more
Well, I mean, you guys
gamers.
do know they have a new web group.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't go away.
Yeah, of course it doesn't.
They just scorched earth. They scorched earth it because they have to basically.
Yeah. Many more gamers believe that there's another list out there, and when you see former members regurgitating narrative talking points, it's not hard to see why. But we'll get that in a minute. Recently, Nintendo fired an employee due to a conflict of interest. Nintendo sent a statement to IGN explaining why they fired the employee, stating, Alison Rapp was terminated due to a violation of an internal company policy involving holding a second job in conflict with Nintendo's corporate culture. Though Ms. Rapp, termination follows her being the subject of criticism from certain groups via social media several weeks ago. The two are absolutely not related. Nintendo is a company. What?
Disclaimer: we're not saying she actually raped anyone yet.
Well, Nintendo is playing a PR game, right, to fix this shit. It's clear. And the big problem is, the big story here that people should take away is that Nintendo hasn't been screening their employees like they used to.
Yep.
And that's a huge problem, because let's just take away the let's take away all the stuff that, the pro-pedophile shit that she was doing, basically, right? And I'm going to call it that because that's what it is. Let's take that away. She is a PR person who's been two-faced about her job, right? She has been repeatedly asked, don't talk about, rape and all this other shit, because she has her account is listed as her official PR account, right?
Yep.
And that's attached to Nintendo. These are things that Nintendo, rightfully as a company, should be able to go, we don't want you, who's PR, basically making her voice becomes the voice of Nintendo when she is representing. That's what a representative is. And
that's
they
kind of
basically...
why, what's her face? Adria Richards got fired because she was representing her company when she did her thing, because her Twitter account was listed as her work account.
Yeah, so I mean that's a huge fucking problem, and the fact that people are sidelining that, or they're like, oh well, no, you should stand with your employee for saying insane, ludicrous bullshit
on your
for
PR
posting,
account,
like almost nude photos of yourself
on your PR account.
on your public Twitter account. Have you seen her Flickr account? Jesus Christ.
She has a Flickr
Someone's
account?
flickering themselves to that.
She has, that's like masturbation fodder. Hey, I'm gonna say it. She's fucking hot. If I was a desperate lonely neckbeard like these Looney Tunes are, I'd probably be jerking off to her. But I'm sorry, I actually have people who will suck my dick for me. So the whole idea of this shit is maddening. That she was allowed to represent Nintendo, of all things, while moonlighting as I won't go into what from what I found that I felt was in poor taste. That's the other thing too. I found that there were certain things in poor taste that didn't need to be said, and I didn't opt to put them in there. And it might color my opinion more, obviously, but I mean, it's just like you have children around you. Maybe wondering why Nintendo wants a very clean-cut, no visible tattoos person engaging with children, somebody who isn't overtly sexual. You know, in PR, you really got to be a suit. You know, you got to be a suit with a very pleasant smile. And she's a person who's talking about rape and shit on Twitter. I mean, I know at least a handful of kids who have Twitter accounts. I double-checked, you know, and I even talked to their parents because they're people I know. And I'm like, you do realize that they are following this girl, and I sent them the photos that I uncovered from the Twitter account. I'm like, so you're cool with your 12-year-old looking at fucking Rapp's goddamn Twitter account now? And they went immediately and they closed their kid's Twitter account to their kid's dismay.
Like, look at those man hands, girl.
Michael, that's what you call rap culture.
Oh my god. She just broke her employee contract. Yeah, that's all it is. Guys, and people are trying to defend her retarded. Because you broke your employee contract. How can you defend someone who broke their employee contract? I do not understand.
Yeah, I mean, but can we make that a tag, please? Hashtag rap culture.
Mitch,
nobody's paying attention to their kids, and Nintendo, as a business, does have a level of responsibility to vet their, the public. I mean, it's not like she works for Blizzard or something. Blizzard, I could see some fucking radically sort of person being in as their PR person, right? Because it's Blizzard. Their games are adult, and, with that comes adult ideas. Usually I would hope that they would pick somebody with a bit more intelligence to represent all adult ideas, who doesn't self-publish a fucking terrible thesis. But, to each their own.
It doesn't matter what company she was working for. As someone using your PR account to boost your your company and you're saying this shit at the same time, it doesn't matter what company you're using. You're for PR and you're breaking your company contract. It's as simple as that.
I found one with her in a very, and he didn't even. Well, no, wait. That was part of a series. I was emailed a set of photos after I started asking around. One delicate set of photos with a Super NES and some controllers in some very provocative positions. I mean, I don't know.
Is she pressing her buttons in the picture?
I mean, if I was, you know what? Here's something that's telling. Ralph didn't even post some of the shit that he found, which is some of the shit that I.
Jesus.
Think about that for a second. I have respect for what Ralph does. He's a necessary entity in this stuff. But when Ralph just goes, nah, maybe not a good idea.
Mitch, I would also say those people who are defending this, they are fucking idiots. Anyways, let's continue. Nintendo is a company committed to fostering inclusion and diversity in both our companies and the broader video game industry, and we firmly reject the harassment of individuals based on gender, race, or personal beliefs. We wish Miss Rapp well in her future endeavors.
But you can't have gay marriage in their fucking their sim game. Only straight fucking in that game.
Actually, that was a bug, and they fixed it.
That was a bug?
They actually re-implemented it.
Yay!
Nintendo's good about that shit. Back. They want to.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. I just feel bad for them because there's some really, really good people over there, and this shit is just.
It's fucking it up for everyone else, basically. Who's actually good at that job.
Here's the problem. If you want to have an intelligent discussion about law, you present yourself as an intelligent person who doesn't finger fuck themselves in front of cameras. I'm not saying that she does. I'm just saying that, if I was having a discussion, I wouldn't masturbate in front of cameras or get naked. Just personally. But what do we? We have two sides. We have people who are doing shit like that, and then we have goony neckbeards throughout the whole entire. Yeah, like, oh, dude, seriously, here, you want a tweet? Here, I'm gonna post this in the. I'm taking a minute to stop leveling my character. Here, enjoy that.
No, it's fine. I took a minute right before this segment to go get high because it's the only way I could deal with this bullshit.
Right? I feel like that's like I just.
Did they?
What
Did
What the
they
fuck
find
is
that-
this?
Did they find the DLC outside?
That's an image of the industry right now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Outside DLC, they must have found it.
God, my dick just crawled back into itself and came.
Hey guys, you want a quick transgender surgery? Here's this photo. Just send it out. We'll save everybody
Jesus
millions
Christ.
of dollars. Send it to Wu.
Oh.
I'm sure she hasn't cut it off yet.
Well, let's get through the.
It's gonna help.
Let's get through this article. They don't mention what Rape's second job was, but a lot of the criticism they mentioned spawned from the spread of the following tweet that Rape made about child pornography years ago. This kind of bullshit pisses me off. Read my in real life thesis before you go hating on me or whatever. In Rape thesis, whatever it is.
I've ruined you.
Previous to raping fired from Janie Moulton's the Wayne Foundation, an anti-sex trafficking organization made it known to Nintendo that if Allison Rape wasn't fired, there would be some serious consequences, as reported by The Mirror. Walton made a follow-up tweet stating that she believed Rape should be fired over those opinions from the thesis that she recently defended during her online discussions. Do you think she should be fired? Absolutely. Many people have lost their jobs over public web opinions, but that is my call. Of course, original stories were published both by, this is kind of important here, both Kotaku and Playboy don't paint the whole picture. Before Nintendo issued the statement explaining why they actually fired Rape, both outlets, with both writers being former members on the Game Journal Pros list, published articles containing a narrative centered around Nintendo's firing Rape due to harassment campaigns from GamerGate. Patrick Rappick published. Huh?
So I was gonna ask, what the fuck did Playboy have to do with anything? Why are they publishing this shit?
Oh, that's a whole other diatribe. Trust me, Playboy. Okay, first of all you need to know is Playboy is now looking to sell their company for only $500 million. That's it.
Yeah, Patrick Klapek at Kotaku published his piece about Rape before IGN published their statement from Nintendo. He frames it around Rape being a victim of harassment from neo-Nazis and groups employing tactics he attributes to Gamergate. He rounds out the original article by saying, of course, I have to state this very clearly, he has no fucking sources of why she was fired. Nintendo was publicly silent while one of their employees was harassed and smeared online over something she did not do. Actually, she fucking did say shit.
She broke a contract. I mean,
well, no. I mean, but here's the bigger thing. She did do all the things that. I mean, okay. This is the sad part. Gamergate has to get pissed off at somebody for saying absurd shit. Dig into who they are, and then find out, oh, holy shit. It's like every person that Gamergate digs into is terrible. Like, it's a breadcrumb trail. It's just like none of these people they've gotten so complacent in being able to say and do shitty things, and they haven't been weeded out by these companies that Gamergate has to go through, and that's when they get the shit kicked out of them.
I think it wasn't just, it wasn't really Gamergate that got her fired. I think they actually fired her, for breaking her contract. And I think lots of parents saw it. And I think that's more to do with it than Gamergate.
Yeah.
How many neo-Nazis was it? It was this many.
Yeah.
Just the prank, bro.
I would also like to say that people use their own fucking tweets against her. So this is fucking absurd from Klepek. That's a fact. It's not it's not in dispute. Nintendo watched Rapp become the center of witch hunt and did nothing publicly to defend her. Despite my request for comment, the company said nothing. Yeah, but you don't fucking say anything until you have something, you moron! Jesus Christ!
Here's the thing. If you are a person who's doing objective reporting, if you're doing objective reporting, right, you could give a 12-hour grace period. That's usually what I tell everybody. It's like, if you need to make contact with those people, give it 12 hours. If not, publish the story as they haven't gotten back to me. But the one thing I pound into everybody, I mean, you know, Anderal, you could attest to this, right? Yeah. I make sure. Is your opinion in this? Because if it is, I'm going to yell at you for a good 30 minutes. Right? I tell people, I'm like, change it to an op-ed. That's your opinion now. You're stating an opinion fact. Just run with it. If you want a news story, then we'll do a news story. But if not, this is what you're doing. And you're listing it as an article. Our articles for GamerTix, you know, it's relatively new, but the article system is op-ed, you know, that sort of shit that's on the political sphere for that. The news is inherently, despite my opinion, despite anybody's opinion, it is fact. It is researched, it is linked to, it has all the information provided. If you cannot do that simple task, I advise you to get a rope and find out if anime is real, okay? Fuck. Sorry.
Disclaimer, no one actually do that. No one actually do that.
No, everybody on Ekutaku, please do that. Please.
Disclaimer: we're not promoting anything like that.
I personally, I don't speak for anybody else on my site, but I advocate these people practice and use 32-year abortion. Okay. That's how old Klepek is right now, right? He's 32.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
To be fair, in an argument over the same subject with someone who I'm not going to mention, fucking, I did end the statement of fact with, "There you go, kill yourself," and I had to clarify I didn't actually mean kill yourself. I'm just being edgelord. Fuck off.
Oh, when I say it, I mean it. I'm like, just edit now, motherfucker. Like, you are a blight on society. I don't even know why you exist.
We're just gonna fucking redact you from humanity.
You're proof that God doesn't exist.
Yeah, let's just
proof that God doesn't exist. Brianna Wu, Zoe Quinn.
Oh God.
United Nations.
No, Zoe Quinn is proof that God does exist and he has a sense of humor.
No, Anita Sarkeesian, Zoe Quinn, and Brianna Wu are the unholy trinity of Satan.
Nah, that's too
I laugh at that.
Satan. He's a cool
you know
guy.
what's funny is I actually noticed that since GamerGate has put so much pressure on all these motherfuckers, like Zoe has been like trying to lose weight.
What?
Like yeah, she's trying to like. I've noticed. Yeah, I'm like,
I was like, wow. UN, and it's like worlds apart.
She's trying to lose weight.
Because, you know, I mean, because you look at, like, if you've seen her at events beforehand or whatever, she's a little, you know, frumpy, and now she's actually gotten skinny. I'm like, oh, GamerGate, the new weight loss plan for fucking manic pixie twink girls who fucking.
Now someone's gonna use that as an audio clip right now, and they're gonna take it out of context.
Good.
Yeah.
I hope they take it out of context while they're getting that rope ready.
Okay, well, just reiterating this point, or despite my request for a comment, the company said nothing. As it turns out, maybe the silence said everything.
I mean, why does anybody care what Kotaku, a company who continually says Nintendo should just sell themselves, like, they have no understanding of business. It's like, Nintendo has more money than God. They could run at a loss for the next 50 fucking years, and nobody wants to even.
Article?
What?
Huh?
They should just sell themselves. Is that an actual article?
Yeah, they've done multiple articles like that, and I'm like, you guys have no idea about business. I just this is like, ugh.
Here, to Klepek's credit, he later amended the article with Nintendo's statement and did note that GamerGate hubs had many individuals criticizing
GamerGate
Nintendo
hub.
for firing. Yeah,
The
for
fuck is
firing.
GamerGate hub?
Yeah, I don't even fucking know. It's a hashtag, you fucking idiot. Firing Rapp in the first place. However, many agree that.
See,
Yeah.
you know,
Like
I mean,
sex
here's the
now.
thing. Just to that point, I kind of want to, like, create a copyright for, like, an open-ended copyright for people for GamerGate and list it as a company being indexed. So when these
Oh my
people
God.
say shit, that I could actually press legal action. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of just, I think I could get away with it. Like, and just be like, why are you saying this about my company? That is demonstrably false. How dare you? None of my employees, you know, are reciting any of this information. You know?
That was brilliant.
It would work.
Okay. Yeah.
You could probably do it in the United States with its laws.
However, many agree that being a public face for Nintendo and using one's Twitter account to say highly inflammatory things and expressing fringe views was not a safe thing to do. No shit. On a heavy article that runs heavily, is that a pun? I don't know. With the harassment narrative and quotes many of them of the same individual from within the extreme left progressive clique. One user named Red Fox points out that using a personal profile to represent a family-friendly company like Nintendo to push some extremist views is not a safe bet for maintaining employment writing. Fact 6. She's a PR who doesn't know how to keep her personal and professional life separate, which would have led her getting canned for incompetence with or without GG cheers. Playboy's gaming editor...
I just don't understand why she didn't create a separate.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
When
Like,
I first
I
read
don't-
it, I thought the same thing. I was like, you're meant to be PR. You're meant to be somewhat like smart. Like I thought, like you learned something in at like college or something. Like
Didn't she get this job when she was like 18 or some shit?
Did she?
Like I'm pretty sure she's really young.
Well,
and by the
I'm
way,
young,
like,
I know. That's...
I just want to let everybody know that she lists herself as in a poly relationship, similar
she's
to.
in love with a polygon?
No, as in poly, as in like.
No, I was making
open,
a joke towards them.
Open relationship, kind of like how others have had their.
I had to make the shit joke about polygons.
But I think that's kind of fucked up. Like, every time we find one of these people, they turn their husband into a cuck, or they're a cuck themselves. It's pretty fucked up. It's like, what happened, dude?
Let's continue. Let's continue. Playboy's gaming editor, Mike, whatever his name is.
Gaming editor?
Literally.
They took breasts out of Playboy. They.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe that they actually took time to not looking at breasts to do some nerd bullshit.
No. They took them out completely. There's no nude photos in Playboy anymore.
What's the point of Playboy?
Fucking look at
Penthouse then. It's not Playboy anymore. It's bullshit.
Yeah, no. They try to. I mean, they seriously, like, they went to regressive feminine. You know, because Playboy was actually started kind of to give women agency for their own bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now what it is, you know, back regressive narrative. Like, it's fucked up. Like, I don't know what happened, but yeah.
They completely ignored a lot of these women who are Playboy models. They have, like, lucrative careers with their day jobs. And they're just like, I'm also a sexy woman as well.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are like, you know, straight out well, I mean, they've played that card before, but I mean, a lot of them are like beautiful women who have complete agency over their fucking body. I mean, you know, they want to. I've never really read Playboy, but I can understand nudie mags or whatever, but they were always
They've even
supposed to
had
be-
trans women in there. Post
Have
op
they?
ones, obviously. Yes, they have.
I mean, because they don't show vag, so I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that's the thing is covered and.
let's go through the thing. Literally aggregated Klepek's piece and then escalated it. While Klepek later went back and amended his piece to include Nintendo statement, whatever, went in guns blazing, originally stating, Nintendo fired Alison Rapp, a former product marketing specialist for the video game company. Rapp in recent months found herself in the target of GamerGate, a hate group that's been harassing and threatening women and other targets online since 2014. GamerGate's harassment of Rapp was triggered by the hate group's objection over changes made in certain Japanese-developed Nintendo games, including the recent Fire Emblem Fates, as the games underwent a process called localization. You mean censorship, you fucking asswipe?
I mean, I don't think that these people realistically understand what localization is. Like, okay, so there is translation and then localization, and localization is meant to take the, how do I explain, like the cultural relevant, like there are things that U.S. audiences would not get. Localization is supposed to do the bare, just very slight tiny tweaks so that the people can understand it, right?
Yeah, basically if it's a joke or a pun, basically make it
accessible.
Makes sense. Makes sense. That it makes sense. Also, anyone who's saying that people are blaming her for the job of Fire Emblem Fates are fucking idiots. I would like a citation for that, because those who are saying that are idiots or journalists.
Well, it's not that they're not blaming her for that. What they're blaming her for is the blatant backing up for a game that she was being a PR representative for. I mean. She stated, the thing is, her views are so wildly contradictive, it's insane. I mean.
Yeah, but I see journalists saying this shit that we're basically blaming her for the translation or localization or censorship, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and they're basically saying she was the fault or some deluded shit that journalists are now spewing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I don't know, it's stupid. The one other thing that I don't get is why Monday Matt has such a hard-on for defending her.
Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest.
I saw his video and I was just like, come on, man.
He made.
I sent him a Facebook thing going, what are you doing?
Yeah, he made 2 videos and basically saying we shouldn't do a witch hunt against her. And I don't know, what the fuck are you talking about?
No one's done a witch hunt against her. Like, what?
I mean, they did dig into her, because they want to find out what person in Nintendo is saying this shit.
Is that really what witch hunt has turned into? Finding old tweets is now a witch hunt? Like,
well, no, I mean, specifically targeting somebody to try to figure out what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, that's kind of a, I mean,
but it's consider that a witch hunt.
I guess, but I mean, there are.
Witch hunt is usually like they're coming to freaking kill you. They freaking hate you. The mobs,
No, what an actual witch?
Do you not know?
What would imply a witch hunt? What would imply a witch hunt is basically someone who is innocent and basically trying to make shit up and lie about them. That's a fucking witch hunt.
Yeah, that too.
Because it's in the name. The witches aren't fucking real, so you have to make shit up and go after them. That's the whole entire where the word comes from. Yeah. Anyways, Rogue Gill, whatever, frames the narrative that GamerGate harassed and bullied Rapp and Nintendo until the Big N caved and fired Rapp. No mention of the Wayne Foundation, and no mention that there was big debate in many GamerGate containment threads about not wanting to get Rapp fired, because some felt it would make GamerGate as bad as SGW, which is a fucking argument. Stupid fucking argument. Interestingly enough,
their own fucking voices like social justice warriors do. Let's take all the opinion out of people who are involved in any of the hashtag movement stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do, people.
Interestingly enough, always Nintendo did actually include the information about the Wayne Foundation in their report, a report that is generally told through tweets with the added update from Nintendo. For the most part, they keep it neutral. But what's worse, Rogue's article was spread around quite a bit before he later was informed of Nintendo's comment and updated the piece. Now the good part is that both sides...
If somebody made that big of a mistake, I would fire them.
Mm-hmm.
So would I.
You know, because that's like, what are you doing? And that's me removing the editor who looked at it and the person.
Yeah. And now the good part is that both sides updated their pieces. The bad part is that misreporting that was an anti-feminist, anti-woman, pro-Nazi ploy to pressure Nintendo to drive women out of gaming actually spread just enough to nearly get cytogenesis effect into play. A perfect example is Oregon Live, who also misreported on the story originally, citing Kotaku for their information. Editor Pazzano wrote in the Oregon Live piece, for the uninitiated, GamerGate is a collective of folks who actively harass women in the industry under the guise of crusading for ethics in game journalism. He says the same thing.
That's why I'm here, dude.
Yeah, citation needed. I would also like a citation on that. Pazzano went on to say, Rapp, a PR rep for Nintendo's Treehouse division, was the movement's latest target. Their beef with Rapp, they alleged she was behind the censorship North American localization of Nintendo games such as Xenoblade Chronicles X. GamerGate supporters have accused Rapp of being a force behind the removal of a tool that adjusts a female's character's breast sizes in the game's avatar creator mode. Despite updating the piece with Nintendo statements, Compassano still maintains some of the original narrative, even gives away that his story was largely based on Kotaku's piece. Well, here we have the fucking problem.
You know what? Here's the thing, too. Like, what people don't seem to understand is that actually, if you want to point a finger at anybody who riled the masses against her, it was Kotaku. They knew that it was going to be a story that fucking GamerGate would archive. And they used themselves to basically as a way to drum up clicks, right? And it put it put Allison in a fucking position that blew up all of her shit. You know, I mean, it's like they don't seem to understand that what they do causes damage. Oh wait, I think they do. I think it's called Hulk Hogan case burying their fucking company. It's just like, I don't know. If I was Allison, I'd probably be more pissed at fucking Kotaku for the way that they reported shit.
Well, looking at how people admit using other people's just articles and basing shit off there. That's the whole fucking problem as well. Not just being conflict and interest and lying, just being fucking ignorant as well. Anyways, Kotaku's Patrick Klepek points out in this excellent and lengthy piece on online harassment, rape doesn't even work on. It's from the Oregon Live. It's not William Usher writing this. Rape doesn't even work on the localization team. She's just been open about her feminist views online and supported social justice causes. You know, stating her opinion and such. See, that's what I'm talking about. Journalists like this are saying.
But he doesn't even know that she's a PR representative for said team.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm talking about. Basically, that these journalists are saying that gamers blame her for the job. They're fucking stupid. Anyways, so Playboy copied Kotaku, then Oregon Live copied Kotaku, and both of them followed the narrative that Rapp was fired because of an organized campaign by GamerGate. No one had any citations or proof to spare that it was actually GamerGate. Literally,
This is what I mean by I don't see anyone actually performing a witch hunt. No one sent her employees like messages. Like what I saw was like 8 people out of like what? How many people in GamerGate? Like 20,000? Like something ridiculous, right? Like
I mean,
8 people.
I stayed away from it.
It's like blaming all like fucking black people for like 8 people. You know? It's fucking stupid.
I didn't understand. You know, I saw where that was going, and I stayed out of it. I was just like, yeah, her comments are fucking stupid, but she's PR. Like, I understood that.
No, the thing is, I didn't see any like witch hunts. Like there was like 8 people, 8 people. Seriously, you know?
Yeah.
8 that they usually do that to everyone.
Well, I mean, I don't actually really know why like John Kelly even. I don't know what the point was of doing the post. I mean, I guess it started a discussion about who she is, but I mean, it wasn't really relevant. She's a PR person who said not even arguably stupid things. She just says stupid things.
Yeah.
And we found out her character is terrible. I mean, you know, people feel strongly about their medium being represented by a person who's promoting pedophilia.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that with a sort, you know, promoting, basically. It's not really promoting. What she was doing was that she was defending having photos and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which is and relaxing the laws. I mean, in reality, she's just a very dumb girl who doesn't even understand. And you know, feminists get on me for calling her a dumb girl, but she is. She's a girl. She's not a woman yet, and she's defending something that she thinks she knows what she's talking about,
but she doesn't.
But really, it's an issue about criminal law and prevention. The laws that we have in place in the United States are very much a way to kind of subvert the market. Everything is a market, you know, crime, drugs, whatever, and unfortunately, child pornography, right? And if you look into the statistics, the people who, you know, basically have that shit go live, they're making money from it. You know what I mean? And with disastrous consequences. Children who go through stuff like that are killed, are sold off to sex slave trades. There's just a huge amount of terrible things. And you know, it's intellectually dishonest to say that it isn't anything else.
Yeah. Well, let's continue the article because it gets, Now, if there was an organized campaign by GamerGate to get Rapp fired, it would have been nice if Kotaku or Playboy provided some links or photos or quotes. The only thing they seem to point to is the neo-Nazi website, which is the equivalent of a media outlet saying Hillary Clinton supporters are preventing Donald Trump from getting into the White House by clicking to ISIS propaganda. Wow. Yeah, that's not a bad allegory.
Did they quote Stormfront? The fucking Stormfags?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
The Stormfags?
That's what we call them, Stormfags, because it pisses them off, because they're, you know, extremely homophobic.
When they come to calling them things, they get very annoyed.
Yeah, they get,
well, yeah.
You know, what it is it's not even white nationalists. They're fucking neo-Nazi, you know, insane, crazy pants people. Just unbelievable.
Well, while it seemed like a hot story to rush to publication, there is no reason why other sites couldn't have just waited for Nintendo's response, which came fast and swift. In this case, IGN played it right by including the relevant information they could prove and the information that was relevant to readers. It's dangerous when large websites focus on telling a narrative first before getting all the facts. We can easily see how both could...
Just so you know, on that front, there's a lot of IGN people who fucking support her. Like, a lot.
Yeah, I know.
And the fact that the one person, and the fact that their editorial team did that, had the fucking balls to accurately report something without any fucking narrative bullshit spin, is amazing to me. I never thought I would see that.
I don't think I'd see anything good for them. I mean, just look at their anime club. It's horrible.
Yeah. Andrew
They don't even
Goldfarb
talk
and
about anime. They just
and
talk about
Sean
random shit.
Sean Finnegan and Andrew Goldfarb both sent her condolences, basically. And Andy McNamara, editor-in-chief from Game Informer, sent her condolences, actually offering help, and people from Destructed and all over. Anyways, it's dangerous when large websites focus on telling narrative first before getting all the facts. We can easily see how both Kotaku and Playboy utilized their platforms to tell completely contradicting stories to what Nintendo stated. Whether or not what Nintendo stated is true would require further investigation. The scary part about this is what would have happened if IGN had waited a day to post on Nintendo's response. We would be looking to another Gamers Are Dead barrage, with one site after another repeating misinformation while peddling social political propaganda. And here's some tweets. Moonlighting is actually accepted under its policy to pay off student loans. I started moonlighting under a fake name and with no real identifiers, and I'm not found out. Told Nintendo, and here we are. It was moonlighting Nintendo didn't like, despite the fact it was anonymous. Well, it doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't make it any less of a breach of your employee contract.
I mean, seriously, even if Nintendo didn't find her actual webcam account, the photos were enough that she posted herself on Twitter were enough. I mean, it's a open and shut case. And you know, I got an email that I haven't totally vetted all the credibility with because they have some personal shit attached to it. But this apparently has been going on ever since she worked there. She was a problem child from the very beginning, and they don't know why this. I mean, they feel like there was some big issue why it didn't happen sooner that she got fired. So I don't know. I don't know to what extent that actually goes, but you know, it's a problem. So, and if one person felt that way at the company, I'm sure that there were multiple other people. So, you know, whatever.
Fuck. Press the wrong thing. Here. Various links have been made to some risque photos of rape with Nintendo products. According to some observers, they believe that Rapp being paid to model in a non-family friendly situations while alluding to those risque photos on her official work account could be what led to Nintendo, which what we've been saying basically. So
you keep throwing me off every time you say rape.
I hear you giggling every single time.
It's so hard not to.
No, I've been trying to hold the giggles in, but I'm clearly laughing.
Yeah, I mean, we have rap culture now, actual rap culture.
Make that a thing, people.
So,
get on that hashtag. Hashtag rap culture. I want to see that in my feed.
Yeah, well, is there anything we want to conclude this whole debacle with?
Anybody who's defending her is an idiot.
I
There's a rope
wasn't gonna name any
with your name on it.
Sorry, I just had something in my throat. It had to come out. Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. Anyone who's defending this idiot is an idiot. A bigger retread. It's like the Obi-Wan Kenobi quote: "Who's the fool or the fool who follows him?" I would say the fool. I would say the fool who follows him because you're
themselves the slaughter.
Yeah. And you're a fucking retard for defending this human being. She dug her own fucking grave with her stupid fucking shit. So.
Yeah, I mean, it just blows my mind because it's like the level of self-entitlement is so fucking extreme. It's so selfish. I read that, I was like, this has to be the most selfish shit I've read all year. I just hands down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. She didn't do nothings at all. She's
Oh,
innocent
God.
because vagina.
Yeah. That's what it was.
It's a good point from the chat. I'm seeing Con
That's actually one of the
Sicaria.
reasons
Pretty
why they
sure
took
the
so long to fire
IGN.
her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the IGN did so that they don't end up on Nintendo's naughty list will come next reveal time, which is kind of a
My
good
naughty
point.
list.
It is, yeah.
Are you gonna peg them for doing that?
I can peg them. I got the equipment built in, so.
I was about to make that joke. I'm glad that you did it before me, because I was like, yeah.
I've been doing a lot of things before you
I love the
IGN.
comment this person just made. Pretty sure IGN did not did that so that they didn't end up on Nintendo's naughty list comes NX reveal time.
Well, Rapp's naughty list is minor, so
Oh.
it's filled with minors. So I wouldn't even try to make that distinction. So, yeah. Anyways, do you guys have anything you want to show?
Nah, I'm good.
Michael, do you have anything you want to show?
Make more mistakes.
Everybody should go and you know, we've actually been picking up some steam. We're going to be pushing out some new stuff. We have, you know, gamertix.com, ship2block20.com. And if you're into cosplay and J fashion, we also have cosplaycrisis.com. So the website's split into 3, and they're all actually doing pretty well, and I thank the community for that. So
I actually visit that and see what that's about.
What was that? Your thing cut out.
I'm gonna visit that website and see what it's about.
Oh, thank you. But
Okay. Well, do you have anything to share, Mitchell?
Just don't be an idiot and get a job as PR.
Yeah, right.
Read your contract.
And that you're not charming, man.
Man, great night.
I had to explain that to someone. It was didn't go well. I'm sorry.
I think I'm charming, man. I think he's probably sitting there right now, and he's like, "It's charming, man."
Does anybody else get the vibe like Rapp was probably touched and videotaped as a child?
I'm
not saying it
not
happened. It's just a vibe I get. Like, now
I didn't know you could get that kind of vibe.
You know what I mean? Just yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.